When we were talking about it last week, think about there's Monday of last week. Is that last week? Doesn't matter. You're still up 40%, 41%. A lot of people were talking about MRAM.
RAM?
Not RAM, MRAM.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. From $17 all the way 56% in this name that we don't often talk about or have ever talked about. MRAM. But guys, you know what time it is.
Hold on, I got to do a quick analysis for somebody over here.
Do it up.
For analysis for somebody over here.
Do it up.
For Luis.
Barbados?
Pardon me?
Luis Suarez, 4540, a.k.a. the biter. He bites people, Joey. Just ask...
Mike Tyson.
Ask Giorgio Chiellini. He got bit.
Okay.
Anyway, HIVE, looking really good here, Luis. Be honest with you, intraday, it's been basically putting in higher highs and higher lows throughout the day. It hasn't pulled back. It hasn't touched the volume-weighted average price. It looks like generally the 10 and the 20 moving averages are where you're looking to pick this up. So that's a great look on the intraday on HIVE. But I also want to mention, this is also looking pretty decent here on the daily. It just took out the 200 exponential. It is now finding resistance at the 200 simple on the daily, which is 312, 313. Look out for that. And you're also now seeing the 50 moving average pointing upwards. You haven't gotten that, golden cross where the red line crosses over the blue line. That hasn't happened yet. And I should say, if you do get through that 200 simple moving average, you're looking at about 375 as a staunchy area of resistance on the daily, both as a level of resistance locally here back in January, and then as a level of support prior. Look at that, from basically September to when we broke above it, I want to say in mid-October, essentially 375 was support. So anticipate some resistance at 375 should it make up there. Get it, Jesse. You're more than welcome. I appreciate you asking the question here. Jesse. And now we got two in the bag there, Joey.
Oh.
You see that? 202.17.
Sitting sideways.
Sitting sideways. All right, the big boys, they're ready to go. They're to our right. We're going to send you over to Neil and Sean for the afternoon show. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Joe and Sharif. They're a great show as usual. And yeah, NASDAQ here up 0.4% as we continue to look out for some opportunities. Yeah, welcome to the afternoon show here, 2 p.m. Not too many crazy earnings going on through today or anything like that. So we'll cover some of that and some of these reactions. 2-0 is a good stock. I just heard the corner of my ear here that China EV sales, now apparently there's been a bill passed there to ban the Chinese EV sales in the United States. So we'll be checking out names like NIO and whatnot as we go through the rest of the afternoon. But traders, if there was one trade setup that I could take the rest of my career, we're about to show you exactly what that is. Most traders have a list of, 10, 15, sometimes 20 different setups that they're watching on any given day. The thing is, that sort of spreading out your risk kills your edge. Focus on one and don't second guess the many other setups that are there. You start thinking about, hey, should I take this B setup? Should I take this C grade setup? No, you shouldn't. You don't have to. You just need a clear definition of what an A setup looks like. This setup that we're about to show you appears multiple times on any given day. You can check out multiple different stocks, multiple different commodities, but it sets up. So we're going to throw it over the screen to Neil, and we're going to cover exactly what that one trade setup looks like.
As said, the VWAP pullback setup is going to show up on multiple stocks many times a day, so it's always going to be out there for you. So it's all about defining what it is going to be. A couple of things that you're going to need to actually happen for this setup, well, you need there to be a strong opening move. This is something where there's a breakout that has occurred, so you have to have a big opening move. Usually you want big volume, maybe 2 times volume is going to be a pretty big key here. Want it to be breaking out into those highs. So once you've established that you have a breakout, as it says, you want to pull back into VWAP. This is the key. You are waiting in this case. You're not taking the initial break in this trade. You're waiting for the VWAP interaction. The pullback has to touch or at least approach the volume-weighted average price and then try to close and hold above that. The other thing you're going to usually see here is volume contraction. So it's going to dry up on the pullback, right? That you've confirmed that the sellers are a bit exhausted on that way back in after the opening exuberance. And then you get the confirmation candle. Well, it can't be a VWAP pullback strategy for a long if it doesn't actually bounce from there. So once you get that confirmation candle, you're essentially looking for the touch of the volume weighted average price. There it is, your VWAP hold, and then you break away. Now there, you can look at it once, you can easily see it happen again, which is a little bit more messy. And the best way to look at any trading example is to look at actual charts. Anybody can pull up a setup and a chart and say, hey, this is what's going to happen and this is what it looks like in a vacuum. No, let's look at a couple of actual moves in today's trade that we can take an example. We have a breakout here all morning long in SLV, eventually making a huge high. You have the volume weighted average price right here in the red. Now it does a very quick dip into VWAP. This doesn't actually break. I would consider that a bit of a, you could take it, but not really a full VWAP retracement setup. It's right in here where we get another continued pullback into the volume weighted average price. It breaks. There's our little contraction, our confirmation candle. You can enter right in here. You know you have set risk, right? So your risk to the bottom, and you take this confirmation long. And then you're playing in two places. Generally speaking, most traders like to try to play this back into the high. Now, if the high is so far away, you usually want to target like a 2-to-1 risk to reward. So you'd simply say, I'm long here, here is my out. You try to get the 2-to-1. Whichever is going to come first is a target to get out. Sometimes the early move extends so far. And in this particular case with NVIDIA, you might see that, where you want to look for that 2-to-1 first and then worry about that high of the session. Another example here in NVIDIA, one where it's probably a little bit easier and one where it was more tricky. Again, explosive move up. You get the pullback into VWAP, it retraces through. You get your confirmation candle, you're looking to enter here, wider stop this time. In NVIDIA, you're looking at about $1.50. It doesn't make it to the high of the day. So good trade, not perfect, but you know what? It happens again. And we always say this can be tricky. Here's an example where you see the stop get tested. You break VWAP, there's this bottoming tail candle right around the 217. You enter on the confirmation. It tries to re-break VWAP and close under, does not do so. Ends up holding that line and then exploding higher. If you're looking at the 2-to-1, that's going to take you to the high of the day anyways. And a couple of examples where you look for that VWAP retracement. There are times when you will see it just wick down there and immediately retrace. Unless you're just sitting with a resting order and not waiting for confirmation, that's not the trade you're looking for. You want the contact, trade under, the hold above, the confirmation, and then the run into the high. The best thing about this strategy is the fact that there are runners every single day. And when there's runners every day, there's something pulling back into VWAP pretty much every single day. You find the ones that do, and this is a trade setup that you can engage in pretty much any trading session.
Third is a couple of examples. All you need is that one setup. Master it, and you'll never look back. That's the key to trading. So there we go, man. I mean, Neil and I will talk every single day, and I hope you guys enjoy those lessons. We'll talk every single day about different setups. And I mean, just look right here. Honestly, this is real time. Like, we couldn't do this any different. There's me shorting Palantir right there. And there's the cover on, you guessed it, VWAP right there. And that's exactly where it bounces back up. So, you know, despite the market being up 0.46% here today, you get Palantir down a little bit, and it still follows. Oh, my workout's done. That's right. I just went for a walk. Okay. There it is. So that even right there, ending the trade at VWAP. We're still in it, but that's a great cover spot right down there. So, you know, one trade setup to watch. I was about to see a little bit of a Lord of the Rings there, you know, one ring to rule them all, but one trade setup to rule them all. I'm going to unmute my news right there, and we're going to go to Adair when we get her. And obviously, it's nice to have Adair there as well. But here it is right here. I don't know if it's on our news flow. I didn't see it on our flow there. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm going to push this here and send this over. Interesting headline right there. House lawmakers just introduced a bill to ban Chinese vehicles in the United States. So, yeah,
that here.
Tesla bears cannot. No, they're not doing that here at all. But I saw a Chinese vehicle. I thought it was relatively expensive. It was like 100 and something thousand. I saw someone post one Evolve or I don't know what it was, E something? I don't know. Not Elantra, that's a Hyundai there. But yeah, I tried shorting Tesla a little bit today. That did not work. There's Tesla in through 440. As you can see, just in and outs like very quick, man. We tried a couple times, we got a couple wins, but at the end of the day, 3 shorts, 3 stop outs as Tesla continues to Merck those shorts and continue to get higher up there as you get nice. I mean, nothing really. I think that was expected, this whole thing. And I immediately went over to NIO to have a look to see if there's any reaction to NIO or some of those other car makers. We could check out Lucids and things like that. Obviously, we're just talking Chinese, but you could see no real volume spikes there. And I just heard that story, and it's just a 210. Or that's right now, but it was about 203 or so that came through. Not much reaction. We could always check the FXI, which is the Chinese ETF there for the top 100. Not much reaction there either. So yeah, a little bit of a wait and see, I think, on this story, and we'll just do exactly that. Wait to see what winds up coming through with this Chinese EV story right in front of us here. But yeah, so far so good. I'm short Palantir. You're in HIMS. Oh, HIMS.
I got back into HIMS. I was in HIMS. Actually, afterwards, during the midday, it was right after the lesson of the day, HIMS sort of broke a trend. Well, I don't know, my drawing tool up. I always
drawing tool up.
Broke a trend, which I actually missed initially. I was like, oh no, I've missed it. Like, here's where it does like the real hammer. And then it just pulls back right into that high, goes to, where do you think it bounced? Stop me if you've heard this before, but it bounced at VWAP.
Oh no. I have heard that before.
We did say this morning that today's show is...
Maybe there was a lesson about that.
Definitely the volume-weighted average price is a bit of a thing. It came right back, did another trend break, did not get filled, left order in, and again got picked up at the trend break high. Whether it gets all the way to VWAP, this has been a rocket ship. HIMS... Okay, fine. HIMS is not the best-looking day chart in the world. But when I say it's been a rocket ship, I guess I'm really more... just talking about the last couple of days. It hasn't been the best daily chart in the world, but big time move on Friday, bit of continuation, just a couple of reversions for sure. We just got a super chat from Raphael.
So Raphael.
Oh, Rafi up there, if we can.
Get those size.
Raphael, Mia, Valencia. Do you also do some swing trading,
Spanish.
Or why not? Not much. Like every now and then, like I probably put a few. I'd call swing trades on per year. Like most of everything is day trading and then long-term account. But I've been, I remember I was in a swing trade in Lulu a couple of years ago. I've done snow. Recently, AVAV was kind of a swing trade for me. What's the health? Why am I forgetting UNH was one. It's just not very often. Like I don't, like a swing trader to me is somebody who the trades that they constantly, like, what swing trade are you in? Like, if you ask, like, if we have Steve on or Brian Shannon on, and we'll probably talk to Brian tomorrow, like, he'll tell you, oh, I'm in this swing trade. Got in it last week. Like, for myself, you ask me what swing trade I'm in, there's like a 70% chance I'll be like, I'm not in any swings. I'm in a bunch of long-term stuff, but I'm not in a swing right now. And so that would be the difference. Like, we're day trading here with real trading on a prop floor, so the primary that you do is day trading. And in my personal account, or any of us, will probably have some swings from time to time. That's what we try to differentiate in between them the best that we can. I know sometimes it might get muddled because you're talking about a stock and it's just easy to go over the prices. But for the most part, if you see an execution here, these are all day trades. If you see, like if I'm talking generally about a daily chart and I say that I'm in it, it's gonna be either my long-term account or a swing. Jed Singh, bang in MU since... Oh, bang.
Yeah, great trade.
In MU, probably like comma.
Yeah, bang, in it, yeah. Yeah.
I read that literally, and it's like...
You can just read it as well, bang in MU.
Bang it.
So, yeah,
no, but bang in MU.
Bang, yeah.
I was doing some stuff, and that's not really a state MU. Since 370, thoughts on Cerberus IPO?
Yeah, it was Thursday, right?
Cerberus is on Thursday. I'm not a huge fan of, almost on any circumstances, buying an IPO to hold forever if you're not getting the issue price. Like buying the open, because Cerberus, let's see where are they pricing this thing? We looked at it and it was like 115 to 125 last week.
It's gonna come out expensive, man.
Yeah, so like we have this is coming out, I'll just quickly show here. It's saying, 115 to 125, but that'll be the issue. Like this thing could open at $150, $180 for all we know. So there's a difference between like day trading the open, but buying the open, I'm not really a fan of that. I think the one time that I seriously considered was, the last time I seriously considered was ARM. Ended up being a mistake not doing it. Actually, that's not true. I didn't do it and then I didn't get the bid a little bit after when it made some fresh lows. So I'm never a fan of getting in the long term early because it's typically not the best price. If you're getting the issue at 115 to 125 and it opens at 180, even if you can't sell for a few months, you still have a bit of a buffer. If you buy, and I'm just presuming it opens at 180, right? Like let's just say it does. If you buy at 180 bucks and it goes back to the issue price, and then all of a sudden you're out 50, 60%, that might be a great price in the long run, like 10 years from now. But usually with an IPO, you can wait. Just look at Bullish or Figma.
You want a tea or anything? Randy's coming.
I'll take a tea, yeah.
Stuff he normally gets you.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty easy when it comes to that. Figma's a good example, right? Like if you buy the open for a day trade, cash money. Buy the open for a day trade, cash money. If you buy the first day for a long-term hold, well, I mean, I was gonna hit the fail, but I'm not even on that page. Then you slap the fail on this thing. And it's still making some fresh lows. Not all of these will be Figma. Some of them will be fantastic. And I think they stand to do well. They're in the right space. Can be a good one. Just be careful. Typically speaking, you're coming to market because people want to make their money. Exit liquidity. If you're fortunate enough to get the issue price, great.
Aren't they investing? So Cerebus specializes in buying companies, debt, or real estate. Is that the same kind of company?
Cerebus Systems?
We're talking about? No, this is not the right one then. I asked.
They're AI infrastructure, Cerebus.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because I think it's in the right space. I mean, that's the big advantage of that. We just saw Pershing Square come through. Yeah, go ahead on this one.
It was a 3-minute chart. But the key is that it's an intraday.
I mean, VWAP is the same on every chart.
Yeah, the VWAP's the same on every single chart. The more point would be
the setups.
Yeah, like you wouldn't probably do it on an hour chart because you're not going to sit around for it to confirm for an hour. Like the typical, like you'd be looking at a 1, 3, or a 5. It's something on the shorter end. But it could be a 1 minute, it could be a 3 minute, it could be a 5 minute. That doesn't really make a difference. It's that it's an intraday setup. Right, like, of course I pull up the one, like the market's higher and going higher. I happen to be on Figma because we were talking about IPOs just now. So I'm gonna pull up the one chart that doesn't have a stock holding above VWAP. No, but I could probably pull anything that's strong. Man, I pull another one. Apple's down today.
It was, well, Google was down. I mean, we'll go over some of the bigger names.
No, it's just, here's strong stock, HIMS, right? Like if you're looking for it on HIMS, it's a gap. Right, gap and run, doesn't really go in the morning. It doesn't make its breakout till later in the day, but there's the VWAP pullback. Now this is it bouncing, but the actual confirmation happens in here on the 3 minute. But if I pull a 1 minute chart up, what does this change on the 1 minute? Right, like the first one, difficult. You could probably argue it on the one and have just, you get more setups when you bring down your time frame. So on the 1 minute, this might appear cleaner. And the second one, there's all kinds of entries on the second that you can have. And if I move it to a 5 minute, it'd be the same thing. Like the first one's not gonna look very clean on a 5. The second one will be very, very clear on a 5. So you have to think about which time frame you like to execute on. I like to pull it in between. I use a 3 minute. But it ultimately doesn't really matter. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
We were talking about some financial holding companies and whatnot. This Pershing Square, I mean, we talked about how bad sort of this IPO was, which it was not great that day one. It came out at like 24 bucks. We had the low there of 21 or $22. But to the point that we had talked about with that super chat there, you know, you don't have to love a company to get involved on the very first day. I mean, this is now a week later and it's a double. Okay, and PS, and the name outside of that one was PSUS, the Pershing Square holding. One is the management company, one is the actual fund itself. So you could just clearly see right in here. Oh, there he is. Thank you so much, Randy, right there. Neil was going to ask for a tea, and I forgot to.
Tea? Would you like some tea?
A cup of tea. I can't do it.
There you go.
Peppermint, probably.
Ooh, peppermint. Okay. Wouldn't be my first choice, but hey, nothing wrong with that.
I don't. Yeah, no, just playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had peppermint tea. One time I got at McDonald's, I asked for a green tea, and they gave it peppermint tea. That was not. That was a little bit of a rude
I think
awakening.
that
but,
or Earl Grey.
Oh yeah, I guess depends on the time of day too.
Depending on the time of day. Like if it's earlier, I'll do like Earl Grey. It's the black tea. It's got a little caffeine in it.
Thank you, Randall. Very, very good. But yeah, then there's and there's PSUS. So sometimes same sort of situation there. One going upside, one going down. So you got to make sure that you're very, very careful with what you're doing there. What car do each of you drive? Lotus.
I'm looking.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. You got to get what you want. Like I have, like the family vehicle is just a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and then like I have an Audi A3, but that's like I barely drive that sucker. It goes from home to the station, which is like 5 minutes and back. Sometimes I'll whip it around if I'm taking my daughter to the sports or something, so it might go like 15 minutes. Or like tonight, we're going to baseball. It's actually like half an hour away. Maybe I'll take that just for what's and giggles. I probably won't.
Where do you guys? Why is it a half hour away? That's far, no?
So we're
playing at Ernst
tonight's game is in like North Brampton.
Oh.
Like the thing, like Brampton's not that big.
It's a lot of people, that's all.
Yeah, but it's grown a lot. So like we're in like the north end of Bramley for the game today, which is it's like actually a Heart Lake. So it's a bit of a jaunt at that time of day.
Randy, what would be your? We have a question there. Some guys looking at buying a Lotus. If you Lotus, I guess, is a sports car, right? So we're not really trying to. There we go. We'll get Randy's opinion there. If you're in the chat, you can let us know what model there of Lotus there. But what do you know about Lotus cars?
There's a new Lotus. Where's Sharif? He would know.
Yeah, he's not
model out that's actually been. It's a rebrand of a Chinese electric.
Oh.
It's coming here.
Ooh.
In fact, there's going to be a couple dozen here in Canuckland. If they're not here already. So we'll see. I'll find the article. I'll catch you up on it. The vintage Lotuses I love.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll find out more about it. Yeah, someone just asked about getting a Lotus over there. So you and I were talking about that Volvo, the E60?
The
60, yes, that wasn't too bad.
It's a hot little ride.
Everything's so expensive nowadays,
there is that.
Yeah, you can't get anything. It seems like for like under $100,000 anymore. Anyways, all right. Well, let's check out the Lotus there as we go. All right, thanks, Randy. Have a safe trip. We'll see you. Two more. Lotus Emira. People in the chat are saying EMIRA. So something to look forward to there. All right, just quickly, as we look to cover some of this Palantir trade, it's starting to go back upside, right? So we got to watch out for that little break of 135.60. I mean, that might be enough to get me out of this. I mean, I kind of was thinking, to maybe stay in. We're out of probably, and again, we got out of. That was a good out there. So we're still in, I don't know what it is, maybe 30% or so of this trade and looking to potentially reload it if we do get back up to 136. So, why don't we stop out of a little bit there if it breaks through 65 or so. So a couple more pennies to upside. We'll make sure we capture some of that profit. And if it does get back up here, then we'll reload it. We won't get out okay, here it goes. We won't get out of a whole bunch. Let's just get out of a little bit there. We'll punch out to some, manually punch that out around 63 there. And now we'll wait to see if we get a reload opportunity back to the upside. Okay, so that's something that we're going to look for. We've really done well on Intel, man. I have just a runner left right there at VWAP. So again, looking at this trade, I mean, we've done really well on afternoon trades for sure. And this is kind of lining up again to be one of those trades there for Intel. I just get a little nervous because of where the market is. And we do know that if this market wants to go for a jaunt, and we'll talk about some of the top stocks leading the way. I mean, on our watch list right here, everything. It's SMR, it's Micron, it's Qualcomm, CRCL, Coinbase up 7%, Silver, Mara, BMNR. So, Intel is not on here. There's AMD, but then right after AMD is NVIDIA and Intel. So all three of sort of the big chip names, and we could include Broadcom in there as well. It's up today. Marvell got all new all-time highs today of 174. So that was a good trade too. So just worried a little bit about this Intel look. Good out for us on Palantir, it looks like, as that just shot the moon right there for no reason, right back up to the upside. So if we are going to maybe try to get back in, here is no better of a time than maybe right now. I was still waiting for a number a little closer to 136. My stop, just to double check it, and I'll stop going on, was 136.25. So I was looking for a little bit of a clean break of this 136 area to get back up to there. sort of where we stopped out early on in the day, and then was able to make it back with Palantir. Intel's my number 1 stock, but Palantir is hanging out at number 2. So far so good. We lost everything on Tesla. We told you we went 0 for 3 on that short, as that did not come back in. And debating an Intel trade right now as well, around 128. I mean, we can use this 128, I was going to say that little wick is a lot higher than I thought there. That's 128.70. So right now we're not really getting through this 128.20. That might not be enough. 128.30, 128.40. Yeah, I don't mind, going for a little bit of a ride here. See if we can get something on. Oops. I just shorted more on Palantir. Oopsies. I meant to get something on Intel. So Intel's coming back up. We'll put an offer right there at 25. We'll get it, but we're going to, here it goes right now. So we're getting into that number. See, this is the problem with shorting. The market is really trying to go here. That's 128.70. Well, because we got a decent price on this, we might as well try right now to give it up to that 70 level. Oh, wow. Intel's really going there. I mean, there must be some kind of news on this. 128.76. We'll stop out. Oh, I'm doing it all on another screen. There it is, 120. Oh, well, okay. So good thing we didn't get too involved right now, as Intel really shooting it upside right now. With the futures not really doing anything, this is the risk. We talk about understanding the stocks that you're trading. Like, this is the risk of trading these names, right? We've seen them really go, and for no better word, like parabolic to the upside has been Intel, has been AMD, and shorting them has definitely led to ulcer-like activities where you're so nervous about what's going on to happen with your P&L. And there it goes. So there it goes, man. I mean, you tried to set it up. We gave back a little bit there on Intel, but there it goes, man. What a move. Boom. Right there to the upside on INTC. It looks like it's trying to break out as well here to end the day. So maybe it's NVIDIA, made new all-time highs today as well, but it looks like Intel right now trying to rip it off. And we just went into that name because it was at a good level there, but there it is, man. Extension to the north side on INTC. Actually good that we didn't start it where we did. Maybe there's news, maybe there's not, but Intel's starting to go upside right now.
Well, I don't know if there is, but
I don't think so.
There was just a spike's the wrong word. Sorry, I was just looking at the Intel daily chart.
Yeah.
I hate to chuckle at it, but I mean,
it's going.
Like, when you've been, if you were around when Intel was just hanging around that like $19 to $22 range, then for so long, and we were talking about it for so long, it gets comical to look at that chart now. Like, it's one thing to look at SNDK, but how many people, as SNDK was basing out at the bottom, how many people were talking about it every single day? Like we were actually looking at Intel at that bottom. No, USO didn't flush or anything, but it did. I'm going to get rid of this line because it ended up not holding out. We ended up breaking that resistance, which did set up some shorts. But we ended up, yes, and we're going downside here, back into VWAP on USO. Maybe that's going to give a little bit of strength to the overall market. Like, you see the NASDAQ. Oh, I got a dark pool right there. Zoom in better. You see the NASDAQ retesting some of the highs, SPY doing more or less the same thing. Like I said, I'm only in HIMS. We're just able to get a reload off this lower high. But you know what's not happening? So, like, the last time, like, it curled, dropped right into VWAP, trailed out after it held VWAP. And that's where the long entry would be, where you're getting out of the short. Well, this time, we get the short, pulls back into the consolidation level, takes them off, get the short at a higher price, and then get a consolidation in front of 30, but that means getting in at higher prices and first target at higher prices. So that's trending up. So I'm not going to reload this again. If we break the quarter, I think I just jump out of HIMS and start hunting for something else there for certain. And again, like, it's like the market, we're talking about Intel, but how easily could we be just saying Micron?
Yes.
820.
Yes.
How easily could we be saying SNDK 16? Oh, it's not off the high. It's off the high, but 1600 got hit today. Boba plays Neil. Where's Lulu's bottom? I don't know. And just there's a joke about the leggings somewhere in there, but that's the only bottom you're going to find for now, right? No, but like. We get this question all the time.
I mean, you have to go to a monthly chart.
And then every single day, every single day, we're just making fresh lows. It's in a downward trend. Why do we always have a need to find the bottom on a bad stock instead of buying the dip on a good one? Like, all of the chip names that we've talked about, or data center names we've talked about, the power names that we've talked about, where you can buy the higher lows as they come on in, or buy the 50-period moving average as it comes back in, or the 200-period moving average if and when it comes back in, or buy some kind of trend bottom or channel bottom or something in an upward trend. I get it. Everyone's looking for Lulu bottom. So here, on a monthly chart, 119 is a level. Does that mean it's going to hold? Nope. Doesn't mean anything. It bounced off the 200-period moving average, gave a small move, and again, I was in this. It went 20, 30% at best, depending on how good you were, and then it came out. So it didn't do a big time move to get back up to 300 bucks. You're just waiting for some kind of level to hold again. Maybe you go out to a 3-month and find another major moving average. Let's do that. Whoops, I just typed EM instead of 3. Here, there's the 3 months. I can just click on it. Thank you, eSignal.
It worked?
I was like, no, I was literally like botching, typed the wrong thing, and then I look, and then the 3 months is right in the drop down.
We'll take
so on
it.
a 3 month, you don't even have a 200 period to work off of. The 3 months says 75 is support, or effectively right here, and the monthly is telling you to wait at least a couple of dollars. I think more importantly, allow a stock to show a bottom, hold a bottom, maybe make some higher lows, break back above a moving average, just do something positive before you have a need to pick out the lows. Otherwise, have a fundamental reason why you like it. Because if you fundamentally like a stock, then you're not worried about it. You just think it's a value. So either you think it's a value, or you wait for stock to show some kind of an actual bottom. All right, I need this to, like, HIMS needs to break this 29.9, then we can look for the VWAP trade, which would be 29.5. If we bounce again and hold, I don't know if I really want to reload this a third time. Just in that one, let us know what else you guys are watching. Crude's just settled, so, and we're going to end up settling right around VWAP here on a pullback.
Yeah, I mean,
New Zealand. Is it New Zealand dollars?
This goes back to the point that you were talking about there. I'll let Neil look at this as well. But yeah, it's like I said this last week too, and it's like you're always trying to figure out what names are near bottoms because we always want to try to get value. But why not just let a name just absolutely go off? And I mean, Micron right here today up another 8%. Like, we're just joking about it all the time, but like I thought we were done this move around this 260 marker. I'm never going to forget that, because when it happened there, I was like, yeah, you know, it has to pull back, man. You come from 40 bucks all the way to 270 in 6 or 8 months, has to pull back, right? And then it came back there. I was like, okay, maybe these are the levels. And I didn't actively trade any of those levels, you know, in a swing account or anything like that. But, you know, since then, it's just mad amounts of buy. And I think that super chat was right. It's probably too heavy. Like, there's so many people in Micron right now. There will be days where it pulls back 7, 8, 9% for sure. But all you're doing is covering up some of these days, right, that are already up that 8 or 9%. So I would say try to take advantage of, if you get two days down, like there's 2 days, like, I mean, this is a little bit more than 2 days, all the way back to early, I guess, mid-March. We had a nice little dip down there as well. But yeah, it looks like right here, Micron looking to get higher with some excitement in the name. So for me, Micron, just a buy. It's just an always buy until you get, you know, maybe through it's past, like, this is a 50-period moving average. I wouldn't put like a lot of money into it up there, but if you ever do get some sort of dip down, like, I mean, that's 650. Man, it's so hard to look, honestly, because these are all new levels. There's nothing underneath this to tell us, okay, we're about to get stopped out here of Palantir. Yeah, there's nothing underneath it. Put down some Fibonacci's, whatever you want, but whatever you believe in, I think the macro story is definitely not changing for a name like Micron. I mean, we keep seeing demand higher and higher and higher. I mean, look at what I mean, just look at some of the underpinning stocks, right? Oracle is at 140, now it's at 195. So if there are problems in the data center space, it doesn't seem to be funding. They can find more money to give to a name like Micron, to give to a name like SanDisk, right? And that just keeps on pumping through. So yeah, I think Micron is a forever long until we hear something about you know, these data centers slowing down a little bit. They still need to buy it. We talked about the switch. We're going to go to Adair right now. We talked about the switch having to increase prices, and it just got dropped, right, because of the components. So, all right, Adair, what you got on the big desk?
Keep an eye here on F. This is Ford here. Ford Energy was just announced. Now, what is Ford Energy? It is a wholly owned subsidiary of Ford Motor Company. Apparently, they've been developing it for about a year, and their goal is to deploy at least 20 gigawatt hour annually, with first customer deliveries planned for late 2027. So they're announcing it now. Looks like this is really going to get steam in late 2027. Investors like it, at least marginally here. Ford getting a pop once again here, guys, on news announcing Ford Energy. Back to you.
Thing. Thank you very much there, Dara. So Ford wants to be like Tesla. I was waiting for this moment. It's been.
I know.
It's a little crazy that it's taken. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the super chat. We'll get to the next super chat.
Yeah, I don't mind that other one.
But easy peasy. Hey, there it is. $3.33. We know that's the 0.2%. Load mRNA on 200-day with hantavirus. Is it the Hanta or Hanta?
Hanta. That's right, I think.
Hantavirus.
Hantavirus.
So
I don't know how to pronounce it, but.
Moderna. The thing about it is, like, I think you're playing off a panic here, right? Like, from everything that I've heard, like, this is not supposed to be as transmissible as,
the rest of them?
COVID was.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's pretty dangerous. Seems like it's pretty dangerous. But you don't know early on the actual mortality rates, right? We found that out with COVID. Like, what you think early on the mortality rates might be, we just did way off, which obviously ended up being true. And that was a good thing that it ended up being what was wildly wrong. But you got to err on the side of caution. But you're saying load up on Moderna on the 200-day. But okay, so I'm looking at it on the daily chart. It's at the 50 period. The 200 SMA on Moderna is all the way down at $36. So I'm going to make the assumption, easy peasy, that maybe you're talking about the 50 on the daily. I don't know if I'm a load up because I don't know enough about this virus to have any sense of, hey, do they actually have something which would matter? And if they do, is this going to make them any money? Like, that's a difficult thing. From a pure momentum standpoint, okay, fine. If it holds the 50-day, maybe you get like some kind of an upward trend that you can buy dips on, but it's only now pulling into that 50 SMA. We're going to go to Sia, come back, and we have another super chat. Hey, where's we?
So we're going to just discuss the few news stories that I have for you. But just quickly, ASTS will be reporting post-market today. And tomorrow we do have a couple of important numbers coming in. The ADP weekly employment change, the core inflation numbers, and the inflation rate numbers. So let's dive into our first news story, CEG's AI-powered demand. So GAAP EPS at $4.49 versus 38 cents year over year, which is up a whopping 1,080%, which is massive earnings growth driven by the Capline integration and market conditions. Adjusted EPS at $2.74 versus $2.14 year over year, which is up 28%. Now, first year 26 adjusted EPS guidance has been reaffirmed between the $11 to $12 range. Management is signaling confidence in the cash flow, visibility, and demand. Major catalyst here is the net metering approval for co-located data center in the Freestone site. And Capline acquisition continues boosting sales and earnings diversification. And currently, CEG down by 1.4%. Another stock that I want to talk about today is Google. So Google's threat intelligence group has said that hackers are using AI models such as OpenClaw to uncover and exploit zero-day software vulnerabilities. And the group has also said in a report that it has uncovered a very likely thwarted and AI-developed attack. The group has said, which is known by the acronym GTIG, has said that it has high confidence that it recorded hackers using an AI model to find and exploit a zero-day vulnerability, like I said, or software flaw that is unknown to developers, which created a way to bypass the two-factor authentication. Now, additionally, Anthropic has also delayed its Mythos model rollout due to cybersecurity concerns, but current models are reportedly being used by hackers, and currently Google down on the day almost 2.15%.
2.15.
Killing it with the report. See, the thing is, C is getting so good at those reports that these other networks, professional networks, have to steal her flow. And if you know, Bloomberg TV going to steal Cia's rep, showing off Trader TV live on their program.
Yeah, at least give it some credit over there.
Got to.
Trader TV.
So here it is. This is.
I was going to say, it's funny, too, because that Bloomberg report was totally derided by ASTS shareholders on social media. Like, they trashed it, and they stole our cred, so.
Unbelievable. Yeah. See, that's what they get. Karma is for
nice
real.
Nice one, ASTS
Karma's pretty for real with this Rabel thing. Is from JKL. This is what I was leading into this when we got the other super chat. I'm a little surprised. You know we follow sports.
Yeah.
Nobody on this stream has sent a super chat or made a comment about this variable stuff. And I've been biting my tongue because I'm not a Patriots fan at all. Like Mike Vrabel's wife, I have trust issues with this market. Entered short Qs, also still short MSTR. Now, I will preface this by saying that entire situation, the only thing people should be concerned about is how absolutely messed up this must be for the kids.
Or not. I mean, we don't know the inside of it all.
I don't know. I just
him and his wife may be on the outs. Like, who knows?
I don't know.
I
just know that I feel pretty bad. I feel it cannot be easy for the kids. That situation is nuts. You can say all you want about double standards, but the whole trust in the markets thing, you know what, JKL? It's not hard to get that feeling.
Got the feeling.
Well, I mean, we look at charts like this. So how often do you see Intel move like this? How often do we see like Intel, Micron? Like everything has gone so far, so fast, and so concentrated in a few names. And the reversal that we've had here with the war still going on, oil prices still holding higher, no China deal, like all of these things are still true. No rate cuts coming at this, like all of this is still true. And the market be like, huh? What? We don't care. We're good. Yeah, I get it. But you know, that is generally how bull markets feel. They always feel like, what are we doing here? How can it possibly go higher? And the idea is to just ride the wave as long as you can, if you're in that sort of thing. Me, I don't surf because, as I've said, you shouldn't surf if my idea of swimming is actively not dying in the water. So you ain't gonna see me surf. Now, that's for sure. Yes. My brother, he try anything, but he's a good swimmer. Me, riding the waves is more like, you know when you go to like the water park?
Yeah, the wave pool,
or the lazy river.
I like the lazy pool.
Catch me in the lazy river, straight up, or at the resort in the lazy river.
Catch me outside.
Nothing's gonna happen to me in the lazy river except I might get a little bit, you know.
You might get a little tipsy.
Yeah, oh, you know what?
Tip over.
You know what Erin found?
In the lazy river.
She just discovered this Salish on YouTube. You probably know. Do you know this YouTuber? You probably know.
Dude, I know the dad. Okay. I know her boyfriend.
Yeah, okay.
I know absolutely
everything. So you know
everything.
what? You now know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know.
She just got into it this week.
Yeah, you're screwed. Yeah, it's a big one there. Man, I hate that family.
And I was visiting my parents, and we went downstairs because my parents live in the same building.
Oh, shout out to Nadal. Shout out to Nadal.
Oh my goodness. And they let her watch whatever. So she's watching this on YouTube, and my godfather, my uncle's like, oh, what's this show? And she's explaining it. And I'm like, now you're just encouraging this. Because now every time she visits, you're just going to let her watch this show whenever she wants and feed her candy. And anyway.
I let my kids watch whatever the hell they want. Yeah, so by the way, like sitting here watching stuff.
What is
Tesla? Just watching Tesla, just basically when moon. We had that question yesterday or on Friday about, which one of the Mag 7s would be the one that, is going to be next closest or next to all-time highs. And, we had talked about, both of us said Tesla, and I just switched to Meta after that. But, yeah, so I think, there you go again, man, another 3%, 4%, sorry. Check it before we get up to the upside there. So that's now 450. Let's just call that. So now you're about $50 away, right? So you're about a little more than 10%. Let's call it 13.5% or so. But until you get to all-time highs, one more time for Tesla. So if you don't believe in this name, man, you're coming right into a spot where there's been some doubt of Tesla before. We've only, broken through 470 once, and it was up there for about a week, and then we were right back down. So, as we get closer and closer to that 470 level, probably maybe tomorrow, we'll see what winds up happening. I mean, we started today all the way down here at we've actually got 418 today as your low. So if we say 418 to 445, you're up, let's just call it $25. I mean, I know it's a little bit more than that, but if you add $25 to this, then all of a sudden you're right into this area. So I think you're getting excited now for Tesla, and congratulations to anybody that sort of, listened to the earnings call and to the responses there and are excited about, what's soon to come with SpaceX and all sort of the tie-up that we expect with XAI and Tesla and SpaceX and all of that fun stuff happening right now in Tesla land. And then we also get that story today as well, as we just talked about it. The interesting thing also about China today too was that convoy heading to China now includes Elon Musk. So he'll be going there, sitting probably side by side with the president or in the same rooms as those discussions start to happen with trade and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to hear how Tesla gets sort of their, agenda through the Chinese government and how that winds up looking. And then the recent news of it, we're not seeing too many spikes or dips or anything, but I was just telling you about 203 or whatever, that bill started to run through again of banning Chinese EVs in the States. So we've already gone through that, and we know here in Canada, as we mentioned a couple of times, those are already rolling around here.
Well, it's a little more than just rolling around. They're welcoming them with open arms.
Yes. I haven't seen them on the... I haven't seen them out there. I saw a post about someone saw one of them. They looked pretty hot, but I thought the guy said it was like $100 and something thousand anyways. So I was like, okay.
Really? What's the point?
I don't know. That's why
nobody's paying.
I have to go back and find it. But there is. Well, it depends on the technology, right? Well, depends on the technology.
I kind of feel like maybe. I mean,
what's the difference if your Tesla's made in China or made in Austin? I mean, it's the same thing. They're shipping them here in Canada. All the Teslas that are here were made in China anyways, so it goes back and forth. So you kind of just gotta.
I also think when it comes to maybe I'm wrong about this. When it comes to like a vehicle purchase, like I don't think I'd ever purchase a vehicle. Like people who have driven them. There's a little bit of that. Like I can point to whether it's the new model of anything. Like I know somebody who's driven this or know somebody.
Right. You're testing it.
Yeah, you can test it.
Yeah.
I don't like. For a lot of the Chinese EVs, I don't know anybody that's ever driven one. If I were to try one, I'd be the first person I know that did. And then not to say that they're not good. It's just I think that there's that hurdle. So if it's not cheaper, to overcome that, it's got to be cheaper almost. Well,
there's just stats. Like I'd be worried about the weather. Like if you talk to Randy, he'd say you're crazy for buying the Jeep, but you've had great success.
Yeah.
That
was another word of mouth.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, who knows?
There's like, on my street, there's like 3 or 4 families. One of them actually works there, and it's like, so we have a lot of good experiences with it. And again, I knew a few people that have driven it. So you want some of that. But if they're not competing on price.
We rented a Jeep Wrangler in Minnesota. So Marissa wanted to get a Jeep Wrangler. She used to drive a Jeep around in her ute as well, so we got a cheaper. And it also has the drop top. So maybe whatever the weather's like in Minnesota, hopefully it's not too cool there, but it probably will be. Anyways, good luck fixing your Chinese EVs, and that's the whole point. What I was saying, like, what does it look like during our winters? What does it look like to get those repairs, and how expensive is that? And these are all questions that are very easily answered by anybody that's selling you the car.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I myself do not have set answers. Palantir going back up to the upside. We did
very quickly.
Yeah, we got out of our intel.
Because you probably saw me get out of HIMS. I'm just going to show you why it didn't. I mean, it didn't get to VWAP, but from the low of the day, boom, boom. Like look at respect the trend line. So the short right back into the trend line. The second it bounced off, that's an out. Clearly, it might give one more shot up here, like bounce off the high. I probably would look for like the high entry instead of the lower high to re-enter HIMS. But if any short trade, again, I'd be looking for that VWAP. I keep looking at this stock, and as long as we're not through the breakout price, looking for reversions on it instead, because it's not really at the break, but you can be looking to long it into these levels. Like it ultimately doesn't matter. Like you can find the curl short into the trend line, or you can buy the trend line into the high of the day. I'm going the opposite here as the market's not making fresh highs. Let's go to Adair.
Keep an eye here, guys, on Coinbase. Near intraday highs. Punchbowl reporting that Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong will be addressing the Senate GOP steering lunch on Wednesday. So I have no idea if this is going to be on camera. I would suspect that it won't be. I was trying to find out who from the Senate is on this committee because I was very curious if we can get kind of any sense if any of these people are particularly pro or anti-crypto. But again, I couldn't find a list. Either way here, Punchbowl reporting that Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong will be addressing the Senate GOP steering lunch on Wednesday. We know that as of late, ahead of hopefully a positive vote for the Clarity Act, at least from his point of view, we've seen a lot more of, Brian Armstrong at Capitol Hill and in the White House. Let's see what comes of this lunch on Wednesday, if anything. Back to you.
Yeah, we did see, I was going to say, we had Circle earnings that were not the greatest there. We know that OB is short on Circle, and we've now obviously just increased sort of our positioning here for this contest. As you can see, now we've got 21%, OB right there, 16%. It's half green, half red, as we'll wait to see. Randy's got those oil stocks there. And then, you know what else was having a good day? Today, actually, I noticed when I was looking over at the old portfolio, there during lunchtime was Eli Lilly for some reason was up. We did get, oh no, it's faded back down a bit. It was up 4% when I last looked. Yeah, okay, there it was. Yeah, so that's what I mean. During lunchtime, there was sitting here having that pretty tasty fried chicken. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like when Sharif came with, you know, downplaying that fried chicken, there was no need for that, Sharif over there, my guy. But there it is right here.
Fire.
Yeah, it was really good. It was easy, you know, easy to cook. I felt like it was good there. But yeah, Eli Lilly got going real early, man. Just boom to the upside and stopped almost on a dime there. And 995, like, gets up there after a nice little climb, and then hasn't really been able to get back through key levels here. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening with Eli Lilly and company. But that was a nice move, right back to 1,000. So, you know, holding that 50 period, looking great now, 940. I really like Eli Lilly here. I just think that, you know, there's more to come with all these GLP-1s and what's involved there. But we do have, what, Coinbase? We can wait. Yeah, sure.
Before we go up, thank you, Rafi. I mean, the thoughts on Coin breaking this resistance, I'm a little bit, there's a part of me that was surprised it happened this quickly, given, you know, after earnings was a bit of a disappointment. But, you know, I see people in the chat and many saying Clarity Act's a done deal, and that's not going to hurt things. This is a clean breakout. But remember, a breakout on the daily chart isn't really a breakout if it doesn't close above this level. So we're here, it's about, I think the prior high was 216.75, but some of these tops are closer to the 215 area. We're just like barely breaking those levels today. If we pull back in the final hour and close at 210, then we'd be looking at a failed breakout. So that breakout, if it's on a 15-minute in the beginning of the day, like what we were talking about earlier with some of those other breakout trades like NVTS, right? Like that's, like this breakout was on a 15-minute chart. Like that's confirmed right away. In the first candle, you're already confirming this thing is gone. Coinbase has to make this close to prove it's not just a false break. It's been up and around here before and unable to hold it. So it looks good. It looks like continuation. But if we're walking in here tomorrow and we're at 218 still, then yeah, it's trying to confirm that breakout tomorrow. It's on the daily chart. So on the daily, it has to hold. Let's go up to Sia at the desk.
IWM up in the green, almost 0.8%. We're going to take a look at a couple individual tickers for today, starting with my favorite, BE, up 12% on the day. No news here, just market excitement. AAOI is up 22%. Stock is rising despite the Q1 miss because of the AI-driven data center investments that are growing, as reported by the CFO of the company, and it continues to see stronger customer engagement. And we have, finally, NPCE, NeuroPace Inc., down 12% on the day. They're reporting earnings tomorrow post-market. Analysts are expecting a loss of approximately the range of 19 cents to 23 cents per share, with revenue expectations around $2.16 million for the quarter. And that's all. Sending it to you.
All right, thank you, Sia, right there. Palantir just took out, so there it is, man. We tried one last little reload there, and there's a second stop that we've had in and around this area. So I guess, you know, you knew that I could sort of sit here and we were talking about it as we were making the trade, that this was not going down. The market was going down, and these Palantir, unfortunately, over the last couple minutes was not. And there's the break higher there on Palantir. Now I'm, you know, wondering, and I don't want to flip it over and make like a bad decision here, but now wondering if now we've sort of broken through this short, which we've had a bunch of times. Now is it a long? But if we thought of, I mean, it's hard to, that was in the first 5 minutes, so that's the first 2 minutes. So that top, I guess, is the high of the day, but we are starting to gap through. We could see if there is a little bit of a hold here for Palantir. And, you know, I'd like to get back into this short, but it doesn't look like that wants to print there today. So, yeah, we're all out of that one now. So nothing, looking for something now. So Palantir, USO closing now at 230. So down up 3.7%. Sorry. We can wait to hear if there's going to be any more sort of stories. You can see not too many volume spikes throughout the day here as traders just waiting and trying to figure it out. Like I said there, what's the next sort of step that we look forward to with oil, right? And what that Iranian war looks like moving forward. Yeah, Palantir could spike into that 140 area. That is for sure. So shout out to everybody else. I'm not seeing like I can.
I got a pull.
My eyes will keep looking up here to see if there's anything going on right now. That Google down 2.5% or whatever. See it mentioned there. That's an interesting one to me. If the market gets going, maybe we can buy some Google today.
So I'm going to go, we're going to do
Oh, no,
this.
Google's still going lower.
We were just talking about Coinbase breaking out.
I should have taken
Bitcoin's just holding 81,000. So I'm going to say, what do you buy in crypto? And we're going to start with Coinbase was just breaking out. I'll throw Bitcoin in there just for obvious reasons. We'll add Robinhood because why not? Like I think that fits in there as well. And then what else should I put? Maybe MSTR as 4 and 5th ETH. People even like ETH.
Coin, Bitcoin, yeah, ETH, yeah. Okay. We got Bitcoin.
Okay, so we're gonna do these 5. I'm just kind of curious. You know what? This was an excuse to just throw coin and hood into something, but I have to give other options.
Yeah.
I care. So what are you gonna buy in crypto? I get it. Robinhood's not only crypto, but
what about long Intel. Yeah,
we've got Coin 1. Let's start the voting. Here we go. Coin 1. Vote 1 for Coinbase. You got to buy right now. You're just buying it. You like it right here, right now at these prices. Coin breaking out on the daily chart. Bitcoin holding 80,000 right now at 81.25, exactly where it was when we left you in the morning. Robinhood, which has been on a run back above $80 and still going. MSTR, which we know one viewer who's liking this for the short. Or ETH is getting a vote. Well, I'm going to vote for the one that I recently bought, so I'm just going to throw some 3s in here. I just did Larry Bird. A couple of 33s accidentally. But yeah, let us know which one you guys are interested in. Robinhood leading. Wow, okay. 50%. Like it's instantly 50% Robinhood when there's 5 options.
Oh, no.
All right, that's not what I would have been expecting. Not a lot of Coinbase in there. There's some ETH, 20% there on ETH. Interesting. Okay, I can't say that would have been, I'm glad because I like Robinhood. And it's also breaking up, by the way. So this was just an excuse. It wasn't just an excuse to show the Robinhood chart. And it kind of was, because look at the trend on Robinhood today. Look at it hold.
Looky.
Hold so well. That could be a bit of a trend breaker. Not super clean on trend from the first pullback, but it's really starting to respect it now. So if that breaks this trend, that could be an entry point for me. Or we just get back into HIMS, which I said if we pull back into that 30-quarter level, going to possibly take another shot at HIMS off of some of those highs. So yeah, really a lot of votes for Robinhood. 50% when we give you guys 5 options.
Well, I think Robinhood gives you the crypto and it gives you others, right? It gives you like also, they still have good numbers with equity trading, and gives you just that little bit of a bump there. And plus it's chopped in half as well, right? And so definitely good opportunity for that. Okay, guys, just looking forward there. We just had a decent winner on Intel. It went from 19 all the way up to 40 there, and we didn't get anything out. I hit a wrong key there. I flattened him back in. So right now we're just long right here. I mean, the only trade we had on Intel today was a good one, and it was the short right there. And then right when we came back to air, well, not right when we came back to air, I guess it was right here at 230. There it is, go. Okay, I can see clearly now Intel's a long, so we'll see if that goes. But we went short into there, and that was on VWAP. You guys saw me. I was like, oh my God, that really got excited real quick. So now we'll wait. Can Intel make it back upside here as we go back into the longs? Try not to fight trend again. I mean, Intel's been such a beast. I was like, saying to myself, if we're going to do something here in the afternoon, let's stop shorting against all these, heavily longed stocks right now. And sure, might be a little overextended. That's fine. But we're here, day traders. Neil and I will clear our positions, of course, as we mentioned, every time at 4 o'clock. So, any of these positions will be out in an hour as we enter that hour of power. I was looking at Micron as well, but potentially for a trade. Well, look, as soon as I say that, look what just happens. So there's finally a come on, man. There's a flush down now. So, all right, maybe I can't see clearly now. Maybe Intel is gone too far, too fast. But this is the problem with day trading. Like I said, you finally start to play the trend, and then you get a whoosh down, and right there you get a nice whoosh up to shut me out. So now we'll wait to see if we do get another call wrong, I guess, on Intel. As we buy the dip into VWAP, we're just long right here, right? We're long at 12s. So I'm not going to cry over this one. We'll see what winds up happening. Hopefully it gets back up there to the upside for Intel. And if we do, why not just respect this level again, 34, 35. So, hey, we see the way it's moving. Let's put some offers out, see if we can't get some trades back upside here for Intel. But yeah, the pressure was just down right there. I don't know what that was about. So we'll take that for what it's worth. Our stop out is still going to... Right there. Breaking sort of below this 75 marker. We want to get out of Intel. I don't know. I have news, but I'm not hearing anything. So.
Well, we just had like maybe the first.
This might be a pullback.
No, but the Qs are starting to accelerate a little bit. Nothing's happening.
Of course, because I'm
oil.
long. You know, it can't happen when I'm short.
I hear nothing in oil, but you're getting a bit of an acceleration here on the Qs. Did we get like?
Thanks, Palantir.
I just turned my head. You guys all saw me turn my head to look to see if Adara was there, but I've heard nothing in my ear.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's
seen a truth or anything. It could just be like a slight pullback. But what I was looking to get into is now gone, like completely.
There it goes. Wow, Intel,
right back
come
into the
on.
highs. And I thought we were going to get that short at the quarters on HIMS. It's not happening. As I said, oil futures are closed now, and it's not that they stopped trading, but even if we're still looking at it, they're not moving. This is just the Q. So I can't really find anything that's necessarily leading this. Even Tesla's starting to pull back, one of the strongest stocks. I got to find something which is reverting that trend a little bit. We're just looking at Robinhood.
Yeah, maybe something's pulling back to
Hood is a second ago was on trend. Now it's really breaking the trend. Let's go up to Sia at the desk.
Yeah, these things are getting back to the danger zone.
No. Yes.
No.
Oh, my bad. I thought we were going to see it for a moment, but no, we'll stay here. But again, we're back into VWAP. The NASDAQ is starting to fall off.
Well, Intel came out, man. I don't know what happened there. Meta just lost 600, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot going to the downside here. This is usually just take the trend break.
Power, yeah, that's for sure.
Well, 3 o'clock just hit, so I'm in this trend break on Hood. The only issue I have with this trend entry is it's happening right as the Qs drop into VWAP. So if we do a classic VWAP bounce,
Intel's back.
This will be like a weird entry to have had. Yeah. So I can't give this to the high. That just wouldn't even make any sense. I'm going to give it to any trend line break to keep a tight stop on this because I don't like the timing of that entry. If there was no news that just dropped and we just had to pull back into, I keep saying the Qs. There's an actual QQQ in the Canadian market. There you go. And we just had this drop into VWAP here. If we end up confirming the VWAP hold, then I don't want to get trapped chasing.
Yeah, right.
But we are getting a real move in. What's going on over in like a name like Apple? That was already at the lows, doesn't matter. Maybe NVIDIA.
Oh boy, Intel, as if.
NVIDIA's pulling back into VWAP as well. Scott says pulling back ahead of the big reports tomorrow. Anything really that big tomorrow? It's nothing that big.
I don't know.
You know, like the actual, like the biggest earnings names have already happened until we get NVIDIA. We'll still have some market data to get through this week, but I don't know. Again, I don't like the timing of this. Yes, it broke the trend, but two things didn't happen. This bar hasn't confirmed it, and the NASDAQ is bouncing right off VWAP. So most times that trend break is to the high of the day. I don't think that's worth it. I'm basically just giving it to, like, see this high here? It's about 80.80, which is above the trend line. That's all I'm going to give it to. I don't think it's worth getting rinsed on. If we hear something that's a reason for why the market's going down, then it's deserving a little bit more. Yeah, Jock's saying we get inflation pre-market tomorrow. Sure, this could have just been some kind of technical, like risk off.
Some CPI?
Possible. But we're so used to, when we see a candle like this, I'm looking for the truth. Not, you know what I mean. Not the actual literal
You're looking for Paul Pierce?
A truth.
Where is Paul Pierce?
Or saying dumb stuff on... Like everyone has a podcast now, like all these former athletes. But I saw one of these. You see the clips on YouTube where Paul Pierce actually made some comment about him comparing himself to D Wade, or like how he compared favorably to Dwayne Wade.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I get it. Part of doing these pods and all this stuff is to say.
You have to. That's the only way. How else are you going to get viewers, right? You got to say something controversial every once in a while.
But come on.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking.
D Wade.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Pierce is. Okay. I mean, he's probably comparing the number of rings or whatever. I don't know. Whether or not he
D Wade might be the third. Like, you could make a very strong argument, Michael, Kobe, D Wade. I'm not saying you can make that argument because I think Oscar is not a point guard.
You're talking about point guard? Well, D Wade's a two guard. Yeah.
No, but because I think Oscar Robertson is a two guard, even though he had a lot of assists and he was a point. Like he's kind of like.
But I guess Steph Curry's a point guard.
Steph is a two. Yeah, Steph's a one. AI was a two. He wasn't really a point guard. But it's Paul Pierce.
Magic.
Paul Pierce ain't in that conversation. He's a great player. Man, the Hall of Fame. He's great. But, bro, they always have to do these crazy hot takes.
Of course, that's the only thing to do.
Although, and I will say this, Wemby should get suspended, man.
What did he do now?
No, there was no question that elbow was like intent. Like, you know what he was doing when he threw that elbow. He threw an elbow right to man's neck.
Who?
Got
Who's
Wemby right to Nas Reed.
Oh, okay.
He gets the board. He goes, like that was. You see the replay of that? I've never show me where that's not a suspension in the NBA. If Ron Artest did that, or if anybody, like if Draymond did that, you're getting.
Well, Draymond is also a goon.
But this is the whole. He's a star, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, welcome to professional sports.
This is it's the Gretzky Gilmore, right?
It's the whole thing.
It's the Wayne Gretzky. High sticks, Doug Gilmore, and you can't suspend.
It's just professional sports, man. I mean,
so he won't get suspended, but he should if you watch that.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out because I'm interested in that. But volatility, guys, creates movement, and for sophisticated traders, movement creates opportunities right now. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of levered and inverse levered ETFs, built for, of course, sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of, you guessed it, precision. It's triple levered bull and bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 are designed specifically for tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedge seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves, up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy, objectives, and risk profile. Trade tactically, and of course, learn more at betapro.ca. We want to thank our good friends over there by Global X with their Beta Pro initiative. So go check them out, Beta Pro by Global X. So I don't know, man, like we just said, I'm not trying to go too hard here, but with that move down, we are getting a little bit of a movement down to VWAP. I was actually debating just going long on the futures right now. Instead, I was like, you know what? Intel has really, I've given some back, obviously, on Intel. Okay, there it is. I was going to say, as we try to chase out to see where Intel wants to go now. So we were short right there, lost. Then we were long, lost on those moves. So now we're back in this. This doesn't make much sense. So let's just wait here. 128.50 or so. I'm just a junkie looking for the trade, right? Trade junkie right now. Intel's been moving around and it's been relatively quiet, but I think this was for me, trading off VWAP, we talked about, the one setup to rule them all. That was a pretty good one right there. And if you're just trying to scalp out, that was 407. This is like 30 handles or so on the NASDAQ. Now, that's not huge for the NASDAQ, but not a bad little level there to take a bid off of, and then watch out for this move back up there to the high side. So here we go, Intel, here we go. Let's wait to see what winds up happening now. 128.50. Maybe that's the lockout zone for this trade, but I'm trying to give it a little bit more room to see if it wants to work out, but so far not so great here when this is over that. Not a great look here for Intel. I don't know. We were just long and we were just short, so it's throwing us around a little bit. And, we're looking for a stock here that has momentum. What about Tesla today? I mean, there was a dip by opportunity there to 444. How you would know that was the key level? You don't, but there's 444 came into play right there on that dip. So we can watch out for Tesla. And again, as Elon Musk goes to try to pump the tires of the Model 3s and Model Ys, we'll see where that winds up getting him, as China is another one of those things that are approaching everyone's mind right now. China trade back on board there. We saw FXI make that move a little bit here today, just on that release. But yeah, downside there for China as we get ready for I guess there was a, what do they call it, convoy heading over there to see President Xi and whatnot. All right, Adara, what you got? Story on this, or? Here we go, happening now.
Thanks for that. We have the SPY trading flat at the moment. We're going to take a look at the board and dive into specifics. So NVIDIA is trading extremely near its 52-week high, having recently surpassed its 52-week high of $217.80, up almost 3% on the day. INTC has been rising on the optimism that it will find more demand for its chip packaging services, currently up 2.5% on the day. And GM, as we spoke about it earlier in the show, in the news segment, is planning those job cuts in Texas and Michigan with the range of 400 to 500 cuts, and currently stock is down 4%. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella is also taking a stand in the Sam Altman and Elon Musk case. Microsoft currently down 1.2%. The White House is also inviting, as you all know it, Elon Musk and Tim Cook, along with others, to accompany U.S. President Donald Trump on his trip to China this week. Tesla currently up 4.3%, and Apple currently trading flat. Tech companies are also tapping into the debt market and to fund AI and cloud expansion. And with that, Amazon is preparing to issue a 6-part bond offering in Swiss franc denomination for the first time, and it is also looking to raise about $37 billion in an 11-part bond sale. And other companies also doing this are Google, Salesforce, Meta, and Oracle. And that's all for your Sector Watch. Back to you.
Thank you, Sia. So still holding on, but we're teetering. This might end up breaking that 80, so it's really, really close. We got our one entry, but I'm not moving the stop because the trend line, like the longer you get, right, like the further along this goes without breaking 80-80, it's going to be holding the trend line. But if you follow that practice where you just keep moving your stop as the trend line goes up, you're just going to have like a worse and worse, you're just going to lose more and more. So I'm just going to hold it. Like at the time that we get the trade, I'm stopping out above 80-80. So I'm not going to leave that. I'm just going to leave that one in there. And if the market completes this bounce off of VWAP, you get back to the high. If this ends up holding the lower high, then that kind of confirms the trend is good. The trend break is good for him. We just had a super chat here. I didn't realize this. I don't recall seeing that note on Anthony, but we can throw it up from Mopar. I don't know if we showed this already, but maybe. Mopar for life.
No, we did not.
Anthony Noto buys for the second time in 3 days. I'm assuming you mean 3 trading days.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because
even he can't save the stock, but maybe this is a good value price.
So just very quickly, showed you I'm not going to move the stop. This might hold the trend. If it does, fair enough, but the trade to me is get in, have your stop, not just sit there moving your stop higher. Well, he hasn't been able to save the stock with his own buying because he's been buying on the way down. We saw this before. He bought after the, was it Muddy Waters, right?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, he bought after the Muddy Waters show report. It's exactly what you wanted to see. He's buying more shares again. Unfortunately, just nothing is allowing this to get out of its own way at this point. Crypto held and got a bit of a bounce. Other fintech names have held and gotten a bit of a bounce. This is right back to some of its prior lows to 15. So this is kind of that line in the sand or flat bottom break. Or we used to call like a level like this is the Alamo. Like 15 is like the Alamo right now for SoFi. The market's at highs. Everything seems to be bouncing around it. If we can't hold the 15 level, well, everyone saw the end of Bush Cassidy and Sundance Kid. And I don't care what you think happens. People were like, yeah, but they might have survived. I'm like, yeah, well, they might have. But they probably didn't. If we're being real at the end of that movie. Like, that's why they fade to black. Or maybe they faded to white in that one. No, but I really do think that SoFi, as long as you hold 15, you've got a chance that we can retake the 50 and go break out from there. But it just feels like the latter might happen first, or the flat bottom break might happen first. And then we're talking about the low, like sign me up in front of 10, 11, 12 bucks kind of thing. I still haven't bought back in. I sold some shares up top, and the thing that I ended up buying back into with that money was Robinhood. And Hood's chart basically the same thing. Like it just, like the reason I haven't bought any SoFi is like, well, what's the difference? I wanted to own some Hood and put that money into Robinhood, and both charts look identical. The difference right now would be that Robinhood's back above its 50 SMA and SoFi is not, so it's a little bit better, I would suppose. Well, this bounce in the market might actually get me HIMS. HIMS bounces off of what? The volume weighted average price, and now headed higher. We get another lower high. I think this one's looking relatively weak. Because the market bounces to the top and it bounces to a lower high at this 30, then I can take the short here on HIMS. Again, not a bad looking stock today, but it's worked so far for the shorts.
You're right here. Who was it there? Tony, sorry, SRX there in the chat. You're right, man. Just another little wiggle job, and Tesla is there, up to 450. Wow. So there it is, man. We're just turning around a little bit at 449. We tried our shorts already at 440. $10 later, all the way up. So there it goes, man, Tesla. And the stock that, today, whatever, man. We'll talk about this Intel back and forth. But this one, like Amazon, wow. Despite the market kind of holding out right here, Amazon really has been bleeding this afternoon, and it's too bad because this is the first stock that we sort of started taking a little bit of lumps on early when we went short. Then we tried it again, and we actually were able to hit it pretty good and make some money back until it winds up breaking that top right there at 272.30s. So yeah, I guess waiting for 273 might have been the right decision there, but wow. Downside push for Amazon. Love the company, but today did not like the stock and was another name that was on the watch list there. I will review the Moderna. Moderna was a good stock for us today, for me today, but it has broken back down below 55 bucks. Let's go over to Adara. What's up, Adara?
Let's talk here about the implied earnings moves for tonight after the bell, because this is the largest implied earnings moves, like in terms of the size of the moves that we've had all season. We know last Wednesday I mentioned all but one of the names had an implied move of greater than 10%. Every big name tonight has an implied move of at least 10%. Largest is going to be Plug Power with a 20% expected move. Smallest here, Marathon Digital with a 10.6% expected move. A lot of them are going to be within that like 12 to 13% range. But then you've got Hims and Hers, 17%, ASTS, 16%, massive implied moves across the board tonight. I have a whole bunch of infographics that are scheduled to go out for this, just to remind you guys what we're expecting for earnings after 4 p.m. So just make sure to join us on X at TTV Research for all of your implied earnings and market content needs. I already have fun infographics there on ASTS, Rigetti, and Hims and Hers. Back to you.
You know, I just saw some of the chat say Plug is trash, and you know, I get it. Some of these stocks have been so badly beaten up, but this one, and there's a few out there, I'm not gonna, whatever, you can get the, I'm just gonna do this. Look at the rounded bottom, and if you kind of go out to about $5 here, like this last top is 518, this top is 470, rounded bottom. This gets over 5. There's a there. There's something there for Plug, just from a pure momentum standpoint. Obviously, like a lot of things, it's been insanely badly beaten up. And of course, Hims reports 17%. Did I see that right? 17% expected move on Hims?
17, yeah, oh man.
So like we're looking at from Hims, that's, you're talking $5 either way. So if it's to the downside, it's funny how this always lines up. If it goes down, you're holding the 50 period, in front of the 50 period SMA on the daily. If it goes up, you're holding in front of the 200 period moving average. How many times does this end up holding true? Like it just, we don't oscillate outside of that range with the expected move. So when you're looking at this one in the aftermarket, you've got not just the option expected moves level, which are derived from the options market. You also have the 50 and the 200 SMA on the daily, which provide you support and resistance for this name. So I think we'll know tomorrow if it's busting through the 200 or underneath the 50.
That's crazy.
Then that's going to give you the real move. But right now I'm looking at, you're not going to get these 30s. Might have to take a break down through VWAP to get back into the short on Hims. I feel like this is a short. Been making lower highs the entirety of the afternoon. It's where can I get back in on the next pop? I don't want to be shorting right at. It's got to either break VWAP or give me a bounce. I thought we'd get the 30 on this. It just hasn't really gone. Mr. Duckett says, Iren, oh Iren, which way will you go? I thought that was offering today and down.
It was, but it
really bounced.
It bounced nicely. When I was looking at that, it was down 10%, and I was like, okay, maybe we need to get into that. We just had some horrible, horrible luck, by the way. I don't know what else to tell you guys. We were waiting at 127.64. Like, I don't even know why we picked that level, honestly. Like, it went right down to 64 and stopped, and we did not get filled. So, like, I had to, I bought some 80s there on the way through, and then we waited for that ultimate fill, and then I was like, oh, let me take out a little bit then at 75 as it was ripping up. So that really sucks. We just missed a really, 20-cent fill there on Intel that we needed. I mean, it would have just been a fill, but it would have been we would have been lighter on this trade than we are right now. So unfortunately, we did get a little relief move down there on Intel for what appeared to be starting to get going. I was just thinking if we got something at the 200 period, that would be good to go. But it looks like right there now Intel says no, and that sucks, man, because it's a decent sized position. And I thought we had that back end right there on that trade, and then it completely stopped literally where we posted it. I guess we must have posted it at a good level, but I'm still there. Oh, no, actually, I canceled it. I moved up to 72. We took a 75 there, and then I was like, okay, well, now we're short again. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know if this Intel is going to work out, man. Just a lot of back and forth BS, basically, on this name. We'll put a bid at 12s, not to get too greedy. Then we'll put another bid at O's, as we just reloaded a little bit there. So let's see if we can make a little bit of. Now this is. You can see where my price is. We're right down here, so we need a move down in order to make any real money on this trade. But we just took a reload there. So let's just get a better average price if we can on Intel. You know, shorting Intel has been death wish basically for the last. I don't know when, since basically, I was going to say once we broke 50, that was kind of game over, because this looks a lot like what it was doing down here at like 19, 20, 25 bucks. Then it's hung around 50 for a minute, and then that's when the explosion sort of started. So I better, be careful about what I say here about Intel, because it can giveth and taketh away right quick, as you guys know. So here we go. We'll take another. Okay, we'll take a fill at 90. Okay, and now well, here it comes back in. So maybe that was good. A little omen there that we were able to get a little bit of a reload there on Intel. So hey, maybe the stock gods are with us on this trade, but we'll see what winds up happening. Right now, we're still bidding 72s. Hopefully, that's a number that gets hit for Intel. Shorting Intel so far, so good there. Google to the downside. Do we have to go to the back? If we do, let me know. Nope. Okay. So yeah, there's Google down 2.5. So maybe this will help lead the market a little bit. I would love. I think a lot of us would love to get longer on some Google, and you can't get longer unless you buy the tops if the stock doesn't stop. So it'd be nice for a little bit of a pullback in there into 350. But I remember saying before, like 280 was a good level to get long, and that bounced huge off of there as well. So yeah, man, any chance to get some 350 love for Google would probably be well appreciated, and we'll maybe get a little bit longer in there. Yeah, there's the Anthony Noto story.
But I just heard that Anthony Noto's recent purchase, I just heard 15,000 shares, that's it?
It's not that bad.
He owns 1.9 million. He owns like 1.9 mil, I think.
It is 15,000 shares. It's pretty small. It's $16 a share.
Yeah, so if the guy owns nearly 2 million shares, 15,000 is not a very significant purchase. It's good. I don't care. Like any insider buying is like you're not framing insider. I'm not framing insider buying as bad. It's just it's all within a context. So when I saw the super chat about him buying more shares, my first assumption was he probably bought a pretty good chunk. Like we're really at that point talking about a major league minimum salary amount of shares here that he purchased. Like that's 200 grand.
I mean, the options alone that he probably has on that stock are probably huge.
Like my first thought is if that's the reason for this in SoFi, come to my chart for a second. If we can, if this is because of that, and it just went into the high, and the market's pulling back, I think that's a fade. Off the high of the day here. That's not a significant amount. So it looks like a bit of a topping tail. I'm going to look for a reversal candle off the highs. If I don't get HIMs, then I think this. And I love SoFi. I own SoFi in the long-term account. Just for a day trade, if that was the reason for the last little spike there, that seems a little bit. That just seems a little bit.
Get the defibrillator out. Like I don't understand what's going on here with Intel. Defibrillator, yeah, for like heart attacks and stuff. This is just. I'm like, come on, Intel, just lose the bid, man. Like, get us something a little lower. Like, we could take them all out here, and it's a good trade, and it's fine. But, like, let's see if we can get just a little more excitement, man. I mean, I'm all about scalping, duh. But, this one, let's just see. I really feel like this market, let's test VWAP one more time. We'll see if we can get Intel into this area, and then I can get a couple more fills, man. I'm waiting at 72. Hopefully that will come through. And see, like, when this happens, I instantly think, okay, well, there we go. I bid some 83s and got some out. Trust me, I'm not throwing out that many shares to stop any of these moves. Let's just see if this can come back in to the deck. Give me that 72, man. This is going to be a big... You know what? Forget the 72. I'm going to cancel there. I'll take a 75 as it's coming back in. Now put a 70 bid there. See if we get that. All right, so here we go. Finally starting to make a move down here. Now, can it hold it without spiking back up through 128 again? That would be nice. But here we go, man. I mean, just trying to do our best with the least that we have on Intel. We've got a good position, but I'm not getting the crazy good. See? Like, how am I at 71 and it stops there? Come on, just go. Fill 71s. But we're looking for this. So that's our next area will be a 50 fill. So we didn't even get 71. You see how frustrating this is? All right, so we're bidding 71s. We didn't get them. Let's go down into the mid-50s. Hopefully we'll get that if it does retrace back in. But there you go. Like missing out on 10 or 15 cents, trust me, like that's a big amount of opportunity missed when you're trading some shares. So that's not great for me. I'll put another bid here at 86. See? So this is Intel, man. This is my life. I need to go. Man, I wish I smoked cigarettes, man. Just be having one right now. Get to the downside, Intel. That's one thing I've never.
You don't want.
No, of course not. I've never smoked cigarettes. Okay, here we go. Down to the downside, man. Let's see if we get. Does anyone even call them cigarettes anymore? What are they even? You know what? That's the one thing that I think, honestly, the advertising in this current generation, like my kids don't even even look at that kind of stuff. I mean, walking around Toronto, you smell other forms of combusted, anyways. Oh, what's up, Joe? This is what you want, Joe? Or you want the weed Batman? Okay, here we go. Yeah. So Toronto's got their own little situations.
Well, I mean, everyone's got that.
Yeah, here we go. Downside now. So there we go. We get our 72 now for Intel. Back to the SIA and or Adera?
Yeah.
Okay, you choose.
Thank you for that. So the USD is range-bound at the moment, and in the red today, peace talks between Washington and Tehran have hit a dead end, as we did here earlier in the show. USO spiking towards $139 a barrel. Investors are fleeing to the USD as a safety net against the Middle East instability. And then we have the Trump and Xi summit coming up. All eyes are on China as President Donald Trump is heading there for the long-awaited meeting with President Xi. And some analysts are sounding the alarm that the yuan is 20% undervalued, meaning that any trade talk could trigger a massive shift in the USDC and wide exchange rate. And finally, we have the sterling, the British pound tumbling. Heavy election losses and the risk premium also is something that has reason for this. On the UK is rising, pushing the GBP USD, which could potentially slip into its lowest level this quarter. That's all for your Money Talks.
All right, well, can all relax now. Did not need any SIGs as this comes right back down into the downside there. 127.40, so here it goes. That's going to be a good one there for Intel. Let's just see. We've now covered. I'm actually out of just over half right now, so I think we did pretty good in what we're trying to think about right now to the downside. Okay, here we go. We're finally getting that little collapse. Let's go. We're bidding 11s. Good enough for me right now. We'll bid some 22s, cancel some of those 11s, re-put it with some different size, as we'll put some 13s out right now. So there it is, man. Finally, we get that right there. It's a dollar club on the last little bit. We did start this south of 127, so we'll take the dollar right now on this and see if we get lower. Look, I'm glad I was sitting here talking about this trade. Was a little frustrated with it, obviously, as we started the short there, and then we got caught up a little bit in the long. But as this market trying to bleed back down in, there it goes, man. Big monster trade right now for me on Intel. So far, so good. It's funny because my whole day will basically be this Tesla trade, as that was like just back and forth, losing, upside. Just if we had gone long there, completely different story, but we're not. There it is now, $1.23. And yeah, man, we were stressed because we actually put on some shares. So there it goes, downside. We had about 5 or 6 units on that one, and that's huge compared to what we normally do. So all good now as we get a nice little downside push there in Intel. Yeah, buddy, keep on going. See if we get some 91s. Yes, there it goes. So, all right, man, next stop, let's see if we get some 126s as the market's losing VWAP and downside push. Oh boy, we just made, it doesn't matter, we don't talk about P&Ls, but we just made a good amount right there back on this Intel trade. So let's keep going, see what winds up happening here for Intel, going back to my number one stock, despite having some bleeding moments there at the beginning of the show, but we'll just keep covering on the way down like we do and see if we can hold something for that bigger move. But this is we've already done that. We've already held it. It's right back into the 50-period moving average here on your 5 minutes. So we're back into this zone of hopefully control, where it looks like this could be bought up. So we'll empty out some more here and just see what winds up happening. There's the trade for Intel. Thankfully, it started to work out there. Sean making billions. Yes, that's right. I've never watched the end of that show, Billions.
I gave up
watching it in the last season.
They didn't kill the character, but you can't. Yeah. The show was Bobby Axelrod. So when he left the show, I stopped watching the show.
Exactly.
And I don't care that he came back because you lost me. And it's a great show. If you're in trading, even if you're not in trading, it's just a really fun show with great acting and awesome characters. But like, get the heck out of here that they thought they could get rid of him and replace him with a horrible character. The guy with there was some other dude with the ball.
At least they're replacing me with Joe, which is a great character.
We have a super chat. Dara, you want to chime in?
I was just going to say, it's always funny to me that Andrew Ross Sorkin of CNBC fame co-created Billions. Like, that's the only thing I know about Billions other than Paul Giamatti. And I always just think it's like the most random fun fact.
Paul Giamatti's great in that show. Like, that show was awesome. Dollar Bill is one of the best characters. Like, if you haven't seen Billions, trust me. Honcho with a super chat. Google and Amazon, could these be good calls that's the end of the week you're talking about. Well, I like them both. I probably, gun to my head, I like Alphabet more. But if we're like, which one looks stronger for this week? I haven't looked at those charts enough to be able to. Let's just quickly take a gander, because Alphabet's not good today. I prefer it as a stock, but it's not very good today. It's been pretty nasty for them relative to the overall market. So just simply based on momentum, like this is at highs rolling over, and then you've got Amazon, which I don't like Amazon as much as I like Alphabet in the long term. But yeah, these are both the same kind of looking charts. I don't know how much of a fan I am of buying at the immediate dip. You're not getting it back at a prior high. Like the prior high is 55 for a pullback. I don't like any levels on either one of these. Not gonna lie to you. The only new trade for me was getting into SoFi. Remember, like I didn't like the Noto news. Let it get into the high, jump in one time, give it to the top. Playing this one into, stop me if you've heard this before, VWAP. Like that's what's worked so far today. Like almost every single trade for me has been let it trend up, let it topping tail, let it break trend, one of those two things, enter on the topping tail rejection, play back into the volume weighted average price. Like every stock I'm up on today to get green, it's been HIMS, it's been silver. Hopefully it'll be SoFi in here. The market's gonna be helping with this. I just didn't believe the Noto news either. You can't buy that few shares and have it be that kind of a catalyst late in the day like that. But it's also 3:30. So
Shoot, I didn't realize how late
we're getting on.
was.
What?
It's now $2 in the money.
NCLH is 5.7 million to sell. There might be something going on there. We'll look at that in just a little bit. JP Morgan, early look, 1.1 million to the sell side, and you 1 million sell, no big deal. BlackBerry's a million buy. That has been moving around. HIMS is a buy of 1 million. So I'm glad I'm not back into the short of that. INQ's a million to the buy side. So there's a few names. The biggest one by far. That's a huge number for NCLH. A sell imbalance with it moving up. So I'm going to quickly check our notes because if there is an index action, we get a note about it every single morning here at Real Trading. Another advantage of being at Real Trading. And I don't see anything on NCLH. So that might be a nothing burger. And if it is, I'd be looking for the sell imbalance to flip and pair off. So if it comes out a sell, and I don't see a reason why it should have a big sell imbalance, I'd be looking for some kind of a long entry before 355. But we'll keep an eye on that one here, NCLH. They just reported, I thought. I think they did.
Cruise ships? Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about cruise
Well,
ships.
also the cruise names, the fact that there's no deal is not helping things with Iran.
Well, obviously there's some sort of a deadly virus going around on cruises
That also,
as well.
yeah, a lot of
so we're not too worried about that one. And another big advantage of being at Real Trading, of course, is leverage. And if you're not going to use it, then what the hell? So we did it right here, man. We used it, and we probably, I don't know if we used too much of it, but it's all good. As we are right now just kind of laughing at what this Intel looks like now as compared to what it looked like 20 minutes ago. Shout out to Adam DeLuz and everybody there in the chat. That's Adam De Never Loses. But this was a good move back in, man, and we're just starting to cover right now and feeling real good about what we did there on Intel. Again, man, we did put that in our pipe and smoked it, and that's the whole point of being here, man. Like I was saying to Neil, to Brennan, to these guys, like, you know, I can make certain amount of easy every single day. It's making that next level that's the problem, right? And so that's why we sit on these desks to sit here as a prop trading to try to get to that next level. I mean, we literally read those ads and talk about it all the time, what the advantages of being at a real trading are and being at a trade the pool or anything like that is to get that leverage and access to different markets. And, actually on that note, let's go find out who made lots of money there on Friday again. So here we do have releases every single day in this trader information portal, which there's the Russell 1000. There's a holiday schedule for NASDAQ Canada. Next week is off for Canada. I'm not here from Thursday. I'm off Thursday till Tuesday. So Joe will be sitting in this seat. Okay, so here's the top traders from Friday. AMAX, so we talked about that 9,400. So these are going to be these are US dollars, regardless of what market you see here. So someone traded a lot of names in Canada, as you could see, 9,300 bucks there for that. A lot of AMEX. So whether or not that's just someone looking at SPY or gold or SLV or anything that's a .AM, right, on NYSE American. We've gone over some of those top symbols before as well, AMEX, NASDAQ. So unfortunately, nothing super exotic over here. But as we said, number one reason to be at a prop firm, of course, leverage. We talked about that. Number two, maybe access to different markets and order types that you may not have elsewhere. But there's blue ocean, so we do have some traders doing that. We talked about, Joe mentioned it earlier, something about blue ocean, I forget what it was, maybe Micron last night.
It was Micron.
Yeah, so $3,000 TSX, that's the top trader there. New York, Hong Kong had a good trader last night. It could have been last night. 3,600 bucks, Amex, there it is, and then there's the top trader alone. Yes, sir, we might be putting up some numbers here. Not enough to get on that list, but there goes Intel, man, right back into those lows. We're basically making everything back on this one trade, which has been fantastic, and too bad that we don't have this Amazon, man. I mean, we liked the 272 short, but shut out of that one a little early. So, yeah, we're always doing work to try to figure out, what trade strategy is good for what times a day and so on and so forth. And, look at AMD giving it up right now as well. 468 top, coming back in just a bit here. Still happy with everything. Let's roll this Intel. I only have about 15% left now. We've been really clearing it out. Let's hold out. There's only 15 minutes now until those imbalances that Neil showed you. And of course, NASDAQ names don't get populated until 50, so 350. So no idea if Intel's going to be a buy or a sell. And if you somehow know that, please send it in chat so I can trade accordingly. That would be really cool.
It's always $1 million one direction or the other. The thing is, you never know which direction it's going to be. Intel literally has $1 million share imbalance almost pretty much every single day. Like I feel like it's on the locator. NVIDIA shows up a lot. It's typically, you want 2, 3, 4, 5 million shares. Intel's been doing a lot of volume lately. What's it done? 150 million today, probably?
Oh, yes, exactly. 140.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, 140.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the average daily volume
I thought I was guessing high. No, so like the other thing with the imbalance, because you see us show it all the time, the reason, and we've probably glossed over this, the reason why NCLH is big at 5.7 million, despite the fact it's a $16 stock, is it's only done 16 million on the day. Like the paired volume 7, that's 42% of the daily volume is already indicated in the auction. That's huge. If Intel were to show up for $1 million, that would be 0.6% or 0.7% based on that 150 million number. That's why it matters. As I said, you said the NASDAQ won't come until 350. But the closer we get to it, don't want to reload. Like if you're trying to break this, we should already be heading into VWAP. I think what's happening now is the market caught a bit of a bid. So anything that's at a support level, zoom it in so you can see better. Anything that's at a support level is just looking for that next flush back in. If it does not happen in the next few minutes, with the SoFi trade, I'll tighten the stop to break even. Haven't done it yet, still going to give it to the top. Give it to the topping tail. But if we don't get into that VWAP soon, you then run out of time for that move to happen. What else is going here? Palantir needs to be studied. Toby, why does Palantir need to be studied? It's interesting today. I don't know that it's that crazy of a Palantir day. This day looks just like Friday. Like 137 to 133, back to the high, doesn't really break it out. It's just another day of kind of consolidation there for Palantir. War's on, but it's still, I guess, being lumped in with the IGV and not going anywhere, which I think is, there's a value to be had there, but you know what? The momentum's been in other places. So you can wax poetic about the reasons why it should be catching better bounce, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I could say the same thing about SoFi. So many better names in the space at this point. Not the reason why we're short. That's that Noto thing more than anything else. Just a few people have asked about Circle today on their earnings. I saw someone asking, is it time to short Circle to Joe? And I assume they meant in the day trade. The reason why I say I assume they meant in the day trade, because this daily chart looks like potential breakout tomorrow. Circle, local high. So remember Coinbase? This is a similar chart, like 137 up top for a daily breakout. Coin did, I don't want to jinx it. Okay, I jinxed it. See, Coinbase tried to break out on the daily too, and it's going to close underneath that 217. So it's now looking like a false top, and we need that conversion. We need that continuation tomorrow. Well, Circle looks just like that. A lot of these crypto names are going to look very similar. Robinhood, Coin, Circle, they all look like that. There's strong potential breakout trades. We kind of got to the top and didn't fall through. Okay, now this is the move that has to happen. Need 16s and then bidding 11s. Remember we had the discussion about like a cheap stock every 5 cents. So it might be in at the quarter, but I'm looking for like the penny in front of that. So like it's always like 16 and 11s all the way down. JK with the super chat, like John Stockton's shorts, short into Tuesday. Yeah,
those are some short-ass shorts.
That was the 80s, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, like even like the cool, like go look up clips of like Dominique Wilkins, like as if he wasn't.
I think Magic Johnson had short
Magic
shorts
had the
there.
same.
I think even Wilt had some short shorts.
The worst part is, I don't know if you remember this, our midget boys basketball team.
Yeah.
When we were in like our first couple of years, they had the most gangster, same nonsense that we had to rock.
Yeah, you're not getting too much funding for new uniforms.
No, they didn't put the new, and you had to get up like the junior team and the senior team had like legit uniforms, and the midget team was trash. So you played on that, it was just embarrassing. Because I'm like, we're not playing in the 80s, but we were dressed like we were playing in the 80s.
Yeah, that was a...
I used to roll the high socks, because somehow that made it look not as bad.
Now they have the full leg all the way up. There's a lot of interesting things that everybody...
The one that kills me is the full leg legging, and then the other one you don't have.
Don't have it on. Styles, man. You don't know the steez there, but yeah. So
I definitely don't know that.
No, I don't know that steez either. But all right, who might know more about style than us is definitely those two ladies behind us. Let's go over and figure out what they're up to at the desk. As Intel trying to go back upside? No.
We're not.
Okay, we're not going. All right.
Psych.
Gotcha
again.
You're stuck with us again. Sorry about that, guys.
That's what we do. We just trick you guys.
Yeah, so like we said, man, we were only in about 15%. We covered some more. So just over 10% or so left right now on this Intel trade as it's getting steam right there back up to the upside. Steam, another thing that I'd never heard of before, but my kid is all over Steam, the gaming situation there.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, just... Really, really excited for that trade. I'm not going to reload this, man. Well, let's just wait to see what happens now into the close. Broadcom, AVGO, Marvell was new high today. I've really sort of been focusing on this one trade with Intel, so everything else is going to be new to me right now. Yeah, so high, making a new one, now coming back in. It's funny to see Intel ripping north. This stock heading south right now. So I say, what's up with that as we continue to look out for a potential play here with Broadcom as it's going higher and going lower, and Intel's ripping. Why? What is going on there? That's interesting. What's going on with AMD right now?
Why is Broadcom so bad today?
Yeah, AMD.
Well, same thing, same chart.
This is really weird. Like everything's pulling back. Meanwhile, Intel's doing this. So
Intel's been a different...
Okay.
Intel's been on its own flex for a while.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if it knows that I'm out or what, but that was pretty good. I'd like to get out of more next time. Intel, give me a little bit of a warning right there. NVIDIA's trying to get their back up to the upside. Is it Micron's world today?
It is.
It was earlier, but that's down 5%.
VWAP, isn't it?
Okay, so everything, yeah, it's still VWAP. Everything is down right now except for my guy over here, Intel. Maybe we should take, let's take a little bit more short here just to see what's up with that kind of a play as why that's happening. So there we go. We punch into the short right now on Intel. Let's see what winds up happening. We didn't get a great price there, 95s or so. So Intel right now on one to the upside as if something's going on. Remember, our stop is still the same, 128.50. This was $2 in the money there. And it looks like there must be some news on Intel. We're going to go.
We'll go to Adair, and then we'll get the super chat.
Something maybe.
It seems kind of speculative here on Intel, but I am seeing some people talk here on X about how Tesla's current A15 chip, which has been codenamed Helios, the portion of A16 that was supposed to go to TSMC will reportedly be transferred to Intel Foundry. So I would keep an eye here in TSM as well. But it looks like a portion of Tesla's current A15 chip that was supposed to go to TSMC will reportedly be transferred to Intel Foundry. Again, purely speculative as far as I can tell. I'm not seeing anything to back this up. Just someone posting here on social media. And again, the post was 2 minutes ago. Looks like they're responding to info that could even be a bit older, as far as I can tell. But I know Sia has a segment for you guys.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, let's talk crypto and send it back to the guys immediately. So BTC trading closer to the $82,000 region, currently trading flat. However, CEO of Coinbase, also as we know it, Brian Armstrong, will be at the GOP meeting addressing the Republican senators regarding the pending crypto regulation. And then also we had the Circle pre-market earnings reporting Q1 EPS of 21 cents, beating estimates of 19 cents. Then they had So Circle has two stable coins, as we're aware, USDC and EURC, EURC being the euro-dominated one, and this USDC, the conversion rate, which is pinned to the US dollar. Now, USDC is continuing to benefit from the rising, sorry about that. Circle is continuing to benefit from the rising adoption of the USDC, which is its dollar-backed stable coin that is being developed with Coinbase, and management is increasingly viewing stable coins as core infrastructure for AI-driven payments, machine-to-machine transactions, and global settlement systems. So regulatory uncertainty is, however, at risk. Why? Because, as you know it, Congress continues debating the stablecoin legislation, and traditional banks are pushing back against crypto firms offering interest-bearing products tied to stablecoin deposits. Currently, Circle up on the day, almost 13%. Sending it back to you.
Wow. Yeah, so that'll do it, man. I mean, we were just wondering what that story was with Intel. And we were looking back and we're like, why are all these other chip names going down? Yeah, it's because Intel got more business right there. So that is why. I'm going to try one more short here at 129. We did obviously give a little bit back there as it started to rip up to the upside. We didn't do a whole heck of a lot of trading through those levels. So like I said, we'll put back on just under 1 unit now, up there at 120. We're just right here at 129. I was going to use, we just topped out at what was that top out there? 129.20s. So that's going to be our stop if it does run one more time. Yeah, great story there about Tesla and Intel. Of course, I didn't hear that in my ears. So downside right now for other names, but upside for Intel. But there's Tesla, not really having too much of a reaction to it. But okay, maybe that for some reason will be false and we'll get a move back down in. We just covered a little bit there at 60s.
Like I said, super speculative, like so speculative. I only brought it up to you guys because the stock was moving on it. But in terms of like its value as news, not sure.
No, I mean, we need that story because we need to know why it's happening. So that's great. No, speculative or not, the speculative traders are in this name to the long side because, if that ever does get announced, we already saw what happens to Apple, man. It's like 5, 6, 7, 10% up, let alone where it would be tomorrow as traders, figure out what they want to do for tomorrow's morning trade. But yeah, we'll cover a little bit now and just be lucky that we're able to make a little bit money back here on the downside of this trade. But yeah, not a great reaction to have. There it is, when you're short the name. So yeah, feeling a little bit like Obi here as we try to get that retracement back to the downside right now. Now we're 70 cents in the money, looking for a bid in the teens. And then we'll just see, too bad. That's hilarious. It went to 21s. We are at 14, so we missed that one easily. But now we'll wait to see if there's a little bit of a pullback now in Intel. So that's what I'm doing right now. Got caught in that story. You never want to do that. So, we didn't give it all back, obviously, but now Intel trying to dance here a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of a dance here. We just double tapped the high on SoFi. It did wick the top, so did get a reload when it wicked the top without breaking the high. But it's also 3 minutes to go to the imbalances.
Yeah, that sucks.
So all of a sudden, it goes from VWAP retrace to retrace into prior support, which is just going to be into this 20. We did have that super chat, Nick. I did want to get to it. Pretty simple answer because I've been looking at, well, not Oklo, but SMR, which we talked about on earnings. They reported on Thursday, so this would be, like, we're just a couple of sessions after earnings, but we've held the higher low, big breakout. Well, okay, big move to the upside, but not a breakout just yet. You can see the consolidation. I like it. We get the confirmation today gives you that whole 3-day rule hold. I just want it to be breaking the 14 level for myself. Like, I like the hold, but I like the confirmation of the 14. To me, if I'm taking a swing breaking out here, you either consolidate and maybe take more to stop out under here at like 1085 or whatever that works out to, in which case you could be already long and risking 20% or 15%. Or you wait for the actual confirmation break at 14, risk it to the same level, and it's just you're risking a little bit more, but the 200 period's at $24. Like next resistance is at $20. Like that's a 50% move it could be making from here, or 40% if you wait for the 14 to go. So I think I think it's worth it to wait for the confirmation break in the 14 because there's so much upside on the trade. I'd rather have a little bit wider of a stop myself because I am looking at this myself for the trade. I'm just not in it till it starts breaking out. But you have passed that first couple of sessions after earnings where they've held. As I said, we have 2 minutes till the imbalances come in. I'm going to move the stop to break even. No need to have this breaking the high of the day here. On SoFi. So, hey, they happen to like this on Noto, had a couple of spikes in, but it's not retracing the VWAP. We'll just look to get out of this and be hopefully flat to just slightly up on it. If it breaks the high, we'll be closer to that flat level on that retracement. NCLH is still a huge sell imbalance with only 2 minutes to go. So there could be something brewing here for Norwegian. Sell would be the right way if you're talking about the sentiment in, I guess, in the cruise lines here. Both the virus and the bad news with no deal and oil price shocking higher. But I would prefer it oftentimes if the news is bad and the sentiment is bad in the stock to have a buy imbalance that you can flip at 355 as opposed to just being a straight sell imbalance. Because now if it just comes out at 5 million, which everybody can see, is that going to be that big of a deal? You hope to catch some of the move. But if it comes out, if it's a buy that flips to a sell, there's almost more oomph with it. Him still a buy of 1.2 million early look. BlackBerry still a 1.2 million buy. That has been a pretty impressive rally that kind of ran out of steam today for BlackBerry. Yeah, I think it's like the first red day in a couple of sessions here, but a good look for BlackBerry. Made fresh 52-week highs on Friday. We're just giving a bit back. Oh, Canada, why not? BlackBerry trying to rise from the dead there.
Yeah, definitely. Would be nice to see that name get back, but such a small market cap, really no difference.
They're tiny.
There at all. So looks like, again, we were able to covered more than half of this Intel trade down there. We were waiting for VWAP, that didn't come in. Now we just take our hands off, and I do have the imbalances right here. We'll see what winds up happening in just 20 seconds. I mean, we had just got out there at 26. We were waiting for 14s, so I canceled that bid now. We'll wait for a little lower, see what we can get. Let's put like a 128. Let's put it back into the 20s there. See if we're lucky enough to get a trade back down into that area. And if we are, then we will see it spike in just a matter of seconds. I would say it's probably, what am I supposed to do? But I think it's going to come a bid, to be honest with you. So there it is. It's out, and it's probably a bid. So there goes Intel.
5.
Yeah, so huge bid there for Intel. So we will wait just a matter of seconds before we'll get stopped out of this. Up at 129.20s. That's a couple times in a row now where we haven't been able to catch that luck with the imbalances. And that's kind of what it is. If you roll the dice, you never know what's going to happen. So there it goes. Upside for Intel. Just momentarily waiting to get stopped out. But it's okay. We've already sort of made the money there. And we realized that was the problem. This was a sweat job there. But that was really when we covered it into those areas, man. Couldn't be happier with that. So, definitely made a little bit of money back on that one. And then, the rumor here is that I guess now, and as Adair had mentioned, though, pretty vague and very speculative, that maybe Intel involved with Tesla now. So we'll see if there's some sort of chips.
Lining up clients, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they need to do, right? That's exactly what you like to see. I'm an investor in Intel, so all of this is fine. We're just talking about a day trade. Wow, I thought it was maybe pulling back there, but
the only thing is with lining these customers up is, again, it went from $19 to $130.
Yeah.
So have we not priced in? Didn't it already make the move? I own shares too, but I'm a little bit skeptical that it hasn't been pricing in that they were going to get all this business. And it's great for future revenues, but come on, you just went 6.5x. There was a buy balance on IREN for those looking. 1.8 million, big one on IREN. NCLH comes out way smaller than expected, so that's a nothing burger. Rivian's a sell of 1.5. We just discussed Intel's a buy balance of 1.4. There was a small buy balance on SoFi, so I just punched out. BAC is probably a bit of a nothing burger. Again, small buy and balance on SoFi. I just punched out the 24s where it was at. It's still going higher, but it just didn't follow through. So I guess they like the Noto news because it's actually holding a bull flag at the end of the day. Maybe this is a good sign for SoFi. We come in and break this sucker out tomorrow. If it's held this low at 15 for so long, there's room here. you break a 16.4, you have that double barrel that gets to 16.8. I might be inclined to at least try to favor the long. I like Robinhood better. Every time I look at it, if Robinhood's actually stronger today, I still like Robinhood better. Robinhood's above the 50-period moving average. I'm here trying to talk myself into that being long, but there's no planet under which I like a SoFi long that Hood doesn't look a little bit better for tomorrow's trade. So we just talked about that IREN imbalance. It's a buy imbalance, and it is falling to the downside. Actually accelerating here. 1.7 million buy, popped up a little bit, but IREN's still selling off. So that imbalance isn't doing anything for the stock. Still down 9 points underneath VWAP. Remember, $2 billion convertible note offering is the reason why IREN is down today. Good earnings, good run, right space, all that, but it's the $2 billion offering that has this one looking a little bit weak. Even the buy imbalance didn't do anything for it. I thought that could have been a 355 reversion, but it can't be if it's already back at the low.
No. I ran to CEG and bought some shares there, but I do like IREN. Sure, you can replace the battery if you want, my guy. No problem with cutting my mic at any time. Of course, yeah, we'll take it. They're trying to.
Well, sometimes,
go ahead, take it out.
Sometimes some of the issues that you might hear with our mics when they're bad, it is as simple as like static electricity nonsense, or needs to be grounded, or the batteries are just need to be replaced. So we'll just make sure we have that.
Our show is too electric. That's the problem.
Kaz just said IREN had terrible earnings.
They did.
Each their own. Each their own.
I don't think they were great.
Terrible is a very strong word. That's a very strong word. Who had terrible earnings this quarter? You couldn't even say that about the trade desk. I'm not even sure you could say that was terrible. SMCI. SMCI didn't have great earnings, and look at that stock. That was actually nice. Well, not today. Dang it. I was about to say, like, SMCI didn't have the best earnings, but they actually had some good looks, were able to get back up. Man, SMCI was a dog today. 5% down for SMCI with all this chip stuff going on. Why was I not looking at this stock? Where were we sleeping on this? As everything else was trending higher. SMCI has been trash all day. All right, back into fading SMCI tomorrow. It made its nice little earnings bounce, goes right into the 200 period, hits the 36, and now we're back on the curl with this. Maybe you got a head and shoulders look. Yeah, I got to favor the short tomorrow with that bad boy.
There goes Intel.
Sure.
There goes Intel. Okay, so we were able to get a little bit out there of Intel on that dip a couple times. So yeah, we actually did pretty good on that last little reload, but there it goes upside. As we always talked about that, it's a little bit of a crapshoot heading into the close, because look at Intel. The number one buy right there is Intel as 355 comes through, and there it goes, just shooting it to the moon, upside. There goes Intel there. TOST, it looks like a nice little buy there. That's a Josh Brown name that if you've been following him, you may be TOST, but nice move there from 30 down to $24 now on this thing. We actually got some super chats about this. Hey man, take your problems to Josh, not to me. Right now, that's at $24 right now to the downside. I guess it's a little bit harder when you can't go on a major network and pump your stock, but there goes TOST to the downside. We'll see.
He can.
He can and he does, but maybe he didn't do that today. Just wait for him to be on again right there. So he's probably just telling his friends to load up on that. There goes Intel, which is nothing wrong with that if he likes the stock. IREN, as Neil just mentioned,
as long as they let you.
CEG, yeah, it's still legal to do it. CEG broke through 300 today, so that's not great, but at the end of the day, we're still okay with it. 300, 301 and change now. For CEG, we're gonna have to wait. Not a great earnings play, but a good power name to look out for there. Wow, Intel is all the way now to $130, so it's all the way back up. We'll have to take a look at this tomorrow. And did Tesla did not look like it was going through it looked like it was going through 450, but then it does not and stops there at 4. What's the high of the day? We have 449.15s there, 16 actually, to be the high of the day. So we'll wind up seeing what Tesla's going to do, dropping back into 440s right now. For tomorrow's trade today, have a look at Tesla. I think that's going to be a good one to look out for. $33, over $30 upside. It got to 418 today, and then up to 449. So $30 top to bottom. And then, of course, we talked a little bit about SaaSmageddon. Not that it's happening anymore, but Microsoft's still down today, and it's had a couple bad days getting back into that $400 marker. And then Palantir was a short until it wasn't, and yeah, now it's upside. So that was pretty good for us today. PLTR. And then, you know, the one trade that we nailed off the open and then just didn't give us much else. There's Moderna 55, and then we held, I don't know, a very small piece, wind up getting out at 54.70. So that looks like a dramatic out, but that's like basically 55 down to 54.60s or so, 55.30s. So we'll have to wind up seeing what happens with Moderna tomorrow, as all that hantavirus talk seems to keep that one down. And did NCLH do anything?
It ended up coming out as nothing.
No, it was there. I just looked at it. There was something.
But it was expected 6 mil. They came out significantly smaller.
Yeah, there it is. So a buy is still 1 mil. So
kind of like the wrong. Okay. It was looking like a 6 mil sell and ended up like a small buy.
There's definitely some opportunities there.
Coinbase, Matt Carnes in the chat was just like, am I reading that right? Coinbase up 7%? It's not a typo. Coinbase is up 7.5%. This was not a name that we were talking in favorable terms after their earnings report, and it's still looking like the breakout. So near the end of the day, it was looking like it wasn't going to hold above that break in the daily. It's now back toward those highs. So Coinbase is doing whatever it can to confirm this breakout on the daily. This could just be maybe 220 for an even dollar break. Tomorrow, the sentiment looks good. As long as we're holding 80,000, I think that kind of bodes well for Bitcoin holding up pretty well. You got Robinhood's also making some power moves. It's not nearly as strong as Coin. A little surprising, because I don't really like Coinbase as much as I like Robinhood. I think you get more. Like, Coinbase is trying to do some of the things that Robinhood converted to a while ago. So Robinhood has a head start in a lot of ways relative to Coinbase. It just has a little bit more diversification to go with it. But for right now, Coinbase looks like, I hate to say it, kind of looks like the better chart in the short term, which it's surprising. We'll come in tomorrow with a potential breakout trade on Coinbase. Less than 1 minute to go. It's no crazy. I mean, we have HIMS after. I mean, HIMS is going to be reporting something like 17% move expected. Plug Power is reporting. They're the biggest expected move, but guess what? It's a $4 stock now. Probably not even. I actually think it's like a $3 stock now on Plug Power. So to move that thing 20% is not a lot of money. But there will be big-time movers for sure. Matt Carnes says your target is 219 for Coin. Interesting. I'm only saying 220 because it's the nearest obvious even dollar breakout above the 217 resistance. That's why I brought it up for Coin. I said 220 because this is like that top's 13, that top's 15, that top is 17. You know, 220 is just that nice round number tomorrow. But any of those even dollar breakouts could be in play. I don't know where it's going to gap to. Wherever the pre-market high is kind of the breakout level when you have a chart like this. So, but 20 seconds to go on this Monday. It's been a wild one. No questions asked, but crypto looks good.
Yeah.
Intel, another all-time high. Some other chip names, though, not so much. AMD, not so much.
I was looking at SanDisk. You can finally tell everybody that you have a red day in SanDisk with only 5 seconds to go right now. SanDisk hasn't been red much, down 1% here today. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We do get the close right now. You know, obviously, we were trading Intel. That was very exciting there at the end of the day. But, you know, the NASDAQ really didn't do a whole heck of a lot in this late day. But, you know, back and forth, bounced off VWAP. We actually talked about that VWAP trade. You probably would have got stopped out a couple times, but maybe not more than once, because then you were starting to use this as your bottom. So nice little play there to the upside on the NASDAQ, finishing the day up 0.3. Same as your ES, finishing the day up 0.3. And sort of on downward movements, but, you know, nice to hold VWAP. We'll see what winds up happening tomorrow. 74.4 coming for the ES and 29,400. We'll see 30,000 soon, man, maybe by end of the week there on the NASDAQ, so that should be pretty exciting. But the NASDAQ and SNDK downside. Micron, I think, finished up still. Yeah, obviously up 7% as that one continues to go. Apple was downside for a minute and flat on the day. So yeah, man, Meta, though, takes 6 bills lower. Yeah, so it's going to close underneath 600.
NVIDIA was good. NVIDIA's up.
Yeah, NVIDIA's up. Yeah, I mean, everything. If you're not in the chip space, it was a little bit of a hard day. You did see Robinhood, which was a pretty good one.
Yeah, a couple of crypto.
There are a couple of crypto names as well, but there's Meta underneath 600. So yeah, thank you so much, a guy from work. Just started watching the videos, so we want to say shout out to that. Go over, check out those videos. We'll have some more as the week goes along as well. So we're excited to do that. So thank you for mentioning that, a guy from work. Go over to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find all of our pictures there. All right, thanks, Adair. Thanks, Sia. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Andre, Ramin, Joe, for entertaining everybody in the chat here, apparently. So that's really, really good. So thank you to Jesse and Joe going back and forth there on the chat, making sure YouTube knows that we've got the greatest show. So thanks, Brendan, everybody that's back over there, Fabian, Ramin, and Andre. Yeah, it's baseball time. Told you we're working on bunting tonight, so that should be a lot of fun with some pitching. But we have quite the arms in the Red Sox organization, so it's all good. Drafting has paid off.
Work that squeeze play every now and then.
The last 2 years. Yeah, you never know. Sometimes, the pitchers we face such good arms in our league, it's ridiculous.
But that's why the squeeze.
That's why.
When you're up against really good pitching, the squeeze plays. You get fortunate to get someone on third, especially with just if you can get it down, it's indefensible at the kid level. Just get it down. It's a hard play to make.
Oh yeah, for sure. We have kids 11, 12 years old throwing 60 miles. It's with accuracy. It's okay, man, good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck with your game today. And looks like the weather's clear. I had to look at that.
That's all I care about.
We're excited for that. Okay, we'll see everybody tomorrow. Ciao.
Ciao.